Alright, hello everyone. How's it going tonight? We are here with the final case of Spirit of Justice, and what is technically the final Phoenix Wright case in the series. We still have two more games, of course, but this is the last time we're going to get to see Phoenix Wright and Apollo and everyone else, because unfortunately we don't have a Game 7 yet. So we're going to have to make do with this. So I don't know what this one's going to be. It promises time travel, but I think we can all agree that that's probably the last thing that's actually going to happen here. Because I don't think Phoenix Wright has that technology. There's a lot of weird things that happen in Phoenix Wright, but I just can't see time traveling being one of them. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. Let's find out.
I'm not completely heartless. I'll even throw that time machine you cherish so much overboard with you.
Maybe this is like a time capsule kind of time machine. Maybe not like a real time machine. Maybe this is a TV show. That could be it too, you know. Maybe it's all a dream.
It's almost time for the reception, milady.
It actually really worked.
So are we just gonna like give her like the insanity plea or something? Is that what's going on here? Thinking she's a time traveler from the future? Yeah, I think I saw Larry too. There's a little hint of Larry in the game select as well. So curious to how that's gonna play out. That's quite the character to bring back of all things. Okay, let me make sure I've got this straight. When your magic panties appear, I do a backflip into a handstand and blow out the candle? No, Athena, you got it all wrong. You do a backflip through the ring of fire while holding the candle in your mouth. Oh, well, you know, it's so obvious when you put it that way. There's no way I'll ever be able to do that. Sure you can. I believe in you, Athena. Juicy, what are you and Athena up to? Athena's agreed to be a part-time performer at my magic show. I couldn't say no to some extra cash, but I probably should have thought it through first. Now it's human cannibal this, guillotine that. It's like I have 9 lives, you know. You made your bed, Athena. Now you gotta lie in it. Oh, I'm too young to be taking out a life insurance policy already. I feel like it's never too young to be taking out a life insurance policy. My name is Phoenix Wright. I'm the head of this law office. Since when did you become the head of this office, Daddy? I mean, who exactly does all the cleaning, accounting, and scheduling around here, huh? You got me there, Trucy. This is Trucy Wright, and she's my adopted daughter and a magician. And I'm Athena Sykes, the rising star lawyer of Write Anything Agency. Or rather, the rising star assistant to Trucy, you mean. If I don't get back into a courtroom soon, I'm gonna forget everything I ever learned. Speaking of the courtroom, we haven't exactly had any clients lately, have we? I bet it's because Apollo left. They just like, he was the real star attorney of this law firm. Once he left, everyone's like, well, this law firm sucks now. It's finished. Is Larry Kane hitched? Oh, could you imagine if he's the husband in that opening cutscene? Oh, that would be fucking hilarious. Well, there he is. Speak of the devil. Is he like a star artist now, or did he just like give up on that eventually? Yo, long time no see. Larry? I haven't seen you in years. What brings you here all of a sudden? I bet he's the defendant. Some big news, that's what. Okay. Hang on a second here. Oh, there we go. Got to look at my control pad. There we go. For stream. Who's this guy, boss? This is Larry Butts. He's, well, let's just say he's an old friend of mine. So, Larry, what's so big that you had to come and tell me in person? You know, after years of not seeing you. Somebody I want you to meet. Hey, you can come out now. He really is getting married, isn't he? Or are they just friends? Like, he was just helping her with her wedding or something. How do you do? Hi? The dress, is that a wedding dress? Maybe he's like the wedding painter or something. Yes, it is. My name is Ellen White. Ellen Wyatt? Ellen... What? I don't... It's gonna take me a second to figure out that pun. I'm a domestic servant, a maid of the Sprocket household. Okay, it's probably... We're gonna get gear puns. Great. Haven't heard gear puns since I watched the Jetsons. Sprocket, as in Sprocket Aviation? Yes, that's the one. Wow, Mr. Wright, Sprocket Aviation is a really big airline company. You've heard of Rainbow Airlines, right? The one they call RAL for short? Yeah, that does sound familiar. But it's run by Sprocket Aviation. I see. But what is a Sprocket family maid doing here in a wedding dress? So actually, we decided to get married. Oh shit. You what? I'm not so young anymore, you know? I figured it's time to finally settle down. What? You're getting married? No way. I don't believe it. Besides, why would someone as well put together as her choose someone as flaky as Larry? You're kidding, right? Jealous? I don't blame you, but green's really not your color, you know. Alright, Larry. Lay it on me. Oh, fuck. Wait, hang on. This might be our last chance. Don't think I didn't forget. Charlie looks as lush and green as ever. Thanks to Athena taking such good care of him. I guess I should pitch in every once in a while too, huh? And there it is. That was the last time we get to click on Charlie in the entire series. In all seriousness, Larry, are you really getting married? Not right away, but that's the plan. Why is she wearing a wedding dress then? We're gonna elope, see? Like, love on the run, I guess you could say. Isn't that right, Ellie? Not too sure about that, are we? Larry, I do believe there's been a major misunderstanding here. My heart already belongs to another. Huh? I'm in love with Soren. Not you. Say what? That's about what I thought. But Ellie, baby, weren't you running away with me so we could get married? As I said, you misunderstand. You said you'd help me escape. That's the only reason I ran away with you. I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. There's no way. That's it. If we can't be together, my life is over. I'm gonna end it all. Oh, there's a window right over there. It's probably high enough. Wait, back up. Did you say you shook off the police? Yes, we had to, because we're lovers on the lam. Sorry, Miss Wyatt, but can you maybe fill me in on what's going on here? To tell the truth, I'm being pursued by the police as a murder suspect. Ah, okay. At least it's not Larry this time. Murder? They think you killed somebody? I happened to find a dead body at my reception, so the suspicion fell on me. They had me confined in a separate room. And that's when Larry came along and helped me escape. I'm sorry, but what? Okay, well, you're just making it worse for yourself by running away from the police. Oh, Nick. Me and Ellie were gonna elope. We were gonna put it all on the line for true love. But the police tried to stop us, so we had to scramble and shake them off. Where did it all go wrong? Maybe when you decide to run from the police? I feel a migraine coming on. Please help me. The police are sure to be intensifying their search. Look, it's even on TV. More news on the murder suspect, an unidentified man on the run from the police. A photo of the suspect, Miss Ellen Wyatt, has just been released by the police. Sources say that the 21-year-old is suspected of clubbing the victim. 25-year-old Dumas Gloomsbury to death in the wedding reception hall after her banquet. Dumas Gloom? I feel like his name should have been Doom and Gloom. The two fugitives are said to be highly agitated and dangerous. If you see them... You've got to be kidding me. Oh, brother. I guess this means we're technically harboring a pair of fugitives here, huh? Oh, Nick, what's a guy to do? Get the fuck out of here so I don't get indicted too. At least dump me hardcore. I'm the one who should be crying. Oh my god. people keep fumbling Larry. He's an accomplished picture book artist. He's definitely not rich, but he's certainly got an incredible heart and probably solid nest egg. I mean, maybe he does. We don't know exactly how well his career is going, but I mean, that's a pretty swanky suit he's got there. So he must have some sort of money now. Haven't seen you in ages. Where have you been all this time? You mean you don't know? You really gotta stop living under a rock and get out more. I'm the hippest, hottest picture book author in the business. Laurice Donim. I can't believe you didn't know that I'm taking the picture book world by storm.
Oh, I know you. You're the one who wrote Franzie's Whippity Whip Trip, right?
Now that you mention it, I think I did hear something about a one-hit wonder. One-hit wonder? What the heck, Nick? I'll have you know I just created a brand new character to moderate acclaim. He's mildly popular with 18 to 24-year-old women everywhere. For a picture book? Look, you can even see his cute self all over this jacket. What? The heart-shaped pork chop? He's not a pork chop. He's the main character of my latest picture book. A lovable little soul who pierces the hearts of lovers with his arrows of amour. Cupiglet. And you can see this adorable fellow make his debut in Cupiglet's Lovely Dovey Dark. In stores now. Are you sure? Because I've never seen that book in stores, now or ever. Well, if you ever do see it, do me a favor and buy a copy or 10, will ya? I thought you were taking the picture book world by storm. Anywho, you'll defend Ellie in court, right, buddy?
Please, I'm begging you. I didn't murder anyone. I swear I'm as clean and pure as this pure white dress.
No Cyclops. I guess that means she's telling the truth. Helping a fugitive on the run? What am I getting myself into?
There's actually one more thing I really need to tell you.
Oh?
You might find this hard to believe, but the truth is, I'm a time traveler.
Huh? I'm not sure I'm follow. Any Cyclops for that one?
After the wedding reception, I was attacked. I was moments away from my death. But then, in that instant, I made a wish upon this pendant around my neck. And I went back in time to just before the reception started. Only this time around, the man who was trying to kill me was already dead. And somehow I became the suspect for his murder. It's as if history had been rewritten.
Now, wait just a minute. I don't understand. Are you saying that... What's going on?
Mr. Wright, there's police cars outside. And not just one or two, but like a whole bunch of them.
All for this person? I mean, I know she ran from the police, but holy shit, that seems like overkill. They got like all the precincts in the city after her.
Daddy, a whole squad of officers has the building surrounded.
What? This is the police. There is no escape. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up. Nick, what do we do?
Think if I know. See a bunch of armed officers out there. 1, 2, 3, 44, 45. Wow, talk about overkill.
Listen here, you criminals. Think about what you're putting your poor parents through. I'm sure this isn't how they raised you. Think about their smiling faces and their warm home-cooked meals. Who the heck are you? A detective? Now, hold on there. Hey, you can't go in there. It's too dangerous. Wait! Imagine if that was Gumshoe that just burst through the door instead of her. You know how much cooler that would have been? Emma.
I'm sorry for all the commotion.
So what in the world is going on?
Well, I raced over as soon as I heard that it was Mr. Butts who holed himself up in here. With the murder suspect after he made off with her. And the fleet of patrol cars. The police are being extra careful. Because apparently a certain somebody yelled out, "Stay back, I have a bomb." I'm sure you can guess who I'm talking about.
Okay, so that explains a lot then. Well, police were being so persistent, I had to do something. So I tried bluffing. You know, like you do in court, Nick. Nick doesn't make bomb threats. Please leave me out of this.
Well, Mr. Wright, I'm bringing this young lady in for questioning. So if you want to talk with her, you'll have to do it down at the detention center.
I suppose I should thank you for your thoughtful gift of trouble and mayhem, Larry. Come on, Nick. We gotta get down to the detention center right away. Listen, Larry, I haven't even decided whether I'm going to take this case or not. But I know you will, because it's you. He's not wrong.
Guess I've got no choice but to tag along and help then. What? And skip out on me? You've only just started practicing your repertoire, you know.
Huh? You'd better stay in practice with Juicy, Athena. Promise is a promise, after all.
That's cold, boss. You gotta get me out of this. I can't take it anymore.
Are we teaming up with fucking Larry of all people?
Let's get practicing, Athena. Next up is some training for the water tank escape trick. Is stick your head in this bucket of water and hold your breath for 15 minutes.
I don't think anyone can do that.
Stop, I'm begging you. She's getting away. You get back here, Athena.
This is what happens when Apollo leaves. I guess the only person counted to be Trucy's assistant is Apollo. Well, guess we better get back to the detention center and ask Miss Wyatt some questions. Especially about that whole time-traveling business she was talking about. Maybe she'll actually be able to demonstrate. Oh, I guess she doesn't have her time machine with her, so of course she couldn't. How convenient. We benched Athena after the case where we benched Athena. Yeah, good. You know what? I'm glad. She had enough time in the spotlight. Let's get Larry in here. If Larry doesn't appear behind the defendant's bench, I'll be disappointed.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright.
Miss Wyatt, would you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Nick's gonna defend you, Ellie. Isn't that great?
Larry, I told you I haven't decided yet.
What? What? You're not going to take my case?
Oh my god.
I'm never gonna be happy.
Miss Wyatt? What the? Did I do something wrong? Oh my god. Miss Wyatt, please calm down.
Innocent, I tell you. The police won't believe me. And neither will anyone else. I'm gonna die all alone in a jail cell.
Alright, I'll do it. I'll take your case, just please stop crying. If not for my sake, for the poor guard who has to listen to all this back there.
Really? You will?
The fact that Larry was the one who brought you to me had me a little worried, but you don't seem like a killer to me.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Nick. I knew you'd come through. Does I really have a choice? I guess not. In any case, it doesn't seem like Miss Wyatt killed anybody. Plus, it's not like I'm up to my ears in work at the moment. Miss Wyatt, Alan, let's do this. Together. Why is the Y silent? That's stupid. I refuse to believe that. There. It's gonna be okay. Now try to pull yourself together.
All right, just give me a moment.
Oh my god. Why would they put a Y in there if it's meant to be silent? What's the joke here? I don't get the joke with her name.
I'm truly grateful for you taking on my defense, Mr. Wright.
Sure, no problem. Wow, she literally pulled herself together. The joke in the name is Watt, like electrical watts. But then why is there a Y? You don't... The Y's never silent. That's a real last name. Wyatt is a real last name. It's a real first name. The Y is not silent. Why would you put the Y in there if it's meant to be silent? And her whole family's about cogs and gears. Why would her name be a joke on electricity? I don't understand the puns here. Ellen, please tell me everything you can about the incident.
All right. It happened after the wedding reception.
You mean the one that didn't happen yet?
I was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury.
Wasn't Gloomsbury the name of the victim in the news report? Maybe I should listen to what she has to say first, though, before I start asking questions. How dare that guy lay a hand on somebody else's blushy bride? What a creep! That's rich coming from you. Do you have any idea why he'd attack you?
No, but...
But what?
Well, to tell the truth, Mr. Gloomsbury didn't seem very happy about me getting married.
Jeez, jealous much? What a loser. I thought the husband was the gearfolk. I thought she was like a maid for those people. You're probably right though. I might have gotten that confused. Yeah, she's a maid for the Sprocket family. Okay, but this still doesn't make any sense. You could have just put Watt and it would have been fine. That's a valid last name. Why is the Y then in here if it's supposed to be silent? Like, you don't need the Y. If you put a Y in there, it's not silent. That's not how that name's normally pronounced. So unless the game explicitly states that the Y is supposed to be silent, I refuse to believe it.
Mr. Gloomsbury had forced me onto the Vista deck and was going to push me off. Oh, how frightening it all was. I was just about to lose my life, on what should have been the happiest day of my life. So that's why I made a wish upon this pendant.
That pendant?
Yes, it was a gift from my husband-to-be, Soren. He said it's a symbol of our love.
And so you made a wish on it.
Now, you may think what I'm about to say is very strange, but... I beg the pendant, please take me back. Back to that blissful moment.
So I guess we're Zero Escape now.
And you know what? It worked! It brought me back to just before the reception started.
So that's the time-traveling thing you mentioned back in my office? I'm sorry, but I have to say, it's pretty unbelievable.
Unbelievable?
Yeah, like, I'm also trying to figure out the pun. Like, your electricity theory does make sense in terms of puns, but I don't know, the Y, if you put a Y in there, as far as I've ever heard, that's not a silent Y. That's not normally a silent Y. If it is silent, sure, but like, I cannot see how it's not the kind of name you would assume where the Y is silent. Like, if you have a Y in something, that's like, Wyatt is a real name. Maybe not with 2 T's. Actually, no, Wyatt with 2 T's is what I'm thinking of. Let's see. Yeah, Wyatt with 2 T's is how it's normally spelled. So, yeah, I don't know. Your idea for electricity is quite valid, and I do agree with it on some level. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around why the Y would be silent, or existing at all. Because, like, Watt is also a real name. That's why we have Watts, because they're named after a person.
I knew you'd never believe me.
Nick, Ellie here's an honest-to-goodness time traveler. Don't you believe your own client? I mean, she doesn't have any psych locks when she says that. And these days, that's what Phoenix relies on when it comes to believing the client. He doesn't trust the client out of the goodness of his own heart. He uses magic to trust his clients. The magic of that pendant sent her back in time before the creep could kill her. Sure, Larry. Sure.
But it's really true, I tell you. This pendant is an important part of the time machine Soren made. I begged it for help and it really did send me back in time.
Is she listening to herself?
I even experienced the reception again, even though we've already held it once before. And during it, everyone there acted as if nothing unusual was happening at all.
Could you not cook while we're talking, please? Alright, so when and how did you come under suspicion for murder?
Well, after the reception ended, the second reception I mean, I went back to the reception hall and started cleaning up the place by myself.
Hold on. Cleaning? Why were you cleaning on your own wedding day?
For my last task as a servant of the Sprocket household, I offered to take on the preparation and cleanup of the reception banquet.
I see.
I started to move one of the decorative lanterns into the room, but it was so heavy I lost control of it, causing it to topple over and break open. That's when I saw Mr. Gloomsbury's dead body inside the lantern.
So you simply happened to be the first to discover the body, right?
That's right. I just came across it by accident. But I became confused and I didn't know what to do. That's when some of my in-laws saw me and jumped to the conclusion that I had killed them.
So this Gloomsbury guy tried to kill Ellen.
but then wound up dead himself after Alan traveled back in time? Time machine and a magic pendant. How could any of this be possible? You know, actually, if presuming there was time travel would actually make for a really great court case, like a Phoenix Wright style court case. Like, think of all the weird shenanigans you could do with, like, the timeline of events leading up to the crime. That'd be a really good plot idea. Just have, like, a really complicated time travel scenario. Everyone jumping around, and you have to, like, try and untangle it as part of figuring out the order of events. Like you usually do in a Phoenix Wright game. Ellie, why don't you tell Nick about that other thing, too? About that shadowy figure you saw when you were being attacked. He may be a womanizer, but he ain't gonna steal someone else's girl. Nah, he wouldn't do that. But he did, like... I guess it was just a misunderstanding on Larry's part, which is, you know, par for the course for him. Thinking that this woman was free because she wanted to run away. Assuming that she was done with the other guy. Yes, good idea, Larry. So you and Larry here were never planning on getting married, right? That's right. We've only had a few brief interactions, so I can't say I know him at all. Oh, Ellie, how can you say that? You and me are bound by fate, I'm telling you. We're meant to be together. What? You're wrong, Larry. Never been so right, baby. Just plays the goatee on my chin. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I take it back. This guy sucks. Larry, please don't make me send you to timeout. Now, can you tell me about the groom, Ellen? What's he like? His name is Soren Sprocket. Oh, he's the most wonderful man. He is truly my destiny. Did you say Soren Sprocket? As in... That's right. The next president of Sprocket Aviation. Wait, isn't he's in line to take over the company? He's nothing but a rich, spoiled brat. I'm clearly the better choice. Clearly. Larry, you and Soren are as different as night and day. There's no comparison. Ellie, you're breaking my achy breaky heart. So she's married into money, huh? Can't really blame a maid for wanting to do that. Why is Larry even involved in all this in the first place, actually? The fuck was he doing at the wedding? Can't believe Soren chose me, simple house servant. He's my knight in shiny armor, my prince. Oh, my Soren. So, what's this shadowy figure you saw, Ellen? I mean, it's clearly the real murderer. It was when Mr. Gloomsbury was attacking me. In the original timeline, right? Right after I made a wish upon this pendant, I started to pass out. But just then, just as I lost consciousness, I saw somebody strike Mr. Gloomsbury from behind. Okay, what if there is no time travel, and she just went unconscious, and everyone in the house decided to redo the wedding as a sick joke, and she was none the wiser, thinking she time traveled, when in actuality she didn't. You did? Then that person must be the true culprit. Did you see who it was? I'm afraid not. Have you told anybody else about this? I told some of my in-laws, but nobody took me seriously. They said it was all just a dream. I can't exactly say I blame them. I mean, time travel? Larry, for my peace of mind, please tell me that figure wasn't you. Of course it wasn't. And there's no strings attached to that statement, Larry? Because every other time you say something like that, there's usually a but. I don't mean your last name. I guess I've asked her all I can for now. Spick and span, spick and span. Ellie, what are you doing? I want to make everything clean and beautiful for when Soren comes. To the jail? I can't have my future hubby come into a dirty room now, can I? It must be spotless, just like this white dress. Spick and span, spick and span. Let's hope we can wipe away all suspicion from you soon, too. Nick, we better get to the crime scene right away.
What, you're coming too? Of course I am. If I solve the crime and reveal the true killer with my super sleuthing skills, Ellie might change her mind about me, you know? You never get the message, do you, Larry? Next up, the mooring dock in the Sprocket Park. Come on, Nick, let's go. Alright. I do like the sound of an airship themed case, though. So this is Sprocket Park. But where's the reception hall? Reception hall? Oh, that's... Wow, looky there. What? What is it? I just spawned me a cute mamacita. Don't wait up, Nick. Oh, hold on. Where's the reception hall? Sorry, Nick. Man's gotta stop and smell the roses when they appear. I am an artist, after all. Oh, miss! Yoo-hoo! I thought he was going to take me to the crime scene. Oh well, I'm sure he'll come slinking back when he inevitably gets rejected. I'll just take a quick look around until then. But she likes to clean as a stress reliever, but yeah, she's kind of going a little crazy here because she's locked up in jail away from her husband-to-be. What we got this place? Wow, that huge airship is moored to just a skinny little tower. I know it's tied down and all, but it still looks like a good breeze could send it flying. Yeah, that's usually what happens to those things. Why do you think we don't use airships anymore? So this bench hit that sign, huh? Hopefully it didn't hit a person, too. That would be a catastrophe. I didn't hear anything about, like, an accident at this place. Doesn't look like the airship crashed. I guess from now on, whenever I'm walking around outside, I better be on the lookout for unidentified flying furniture, too. Wow, that thing's really banged up. You looking at the sign? They say it got damaged by heavy winds yesterday. A big gust sent that bench flying into it. Well, that's what they're saying anyway. I see. The wind caused that? More like a tornado. The repair guy was saying, don't touch, it's dangerous. I see. Thanks for the heads up. Poor guy. Looks like it was a lot of work. Wow, that airship is huge. Oops. Didn't mean to say that out loud. I've only ever seen airships like this up in the sky. I gotta say, they're mighty impressive when you can see them up close like this. Hey, sorry about that. I actually thought you'd be back sooner. It didn't work out, huh? Lay off, man. I was on my game today. So, now that you're done, you mind telling me where the reception hall is already? What do you mean? It's right there in front of you. Huh? Right in front of... Wait. What's that say? Flying Chapel? Do you mean to tell me... Yep, Ellie's reception was on that airship. Whoa, a sky-high reception hall? Yep, and that's where you'll find the crime scene. Man, not only does that airship fly through the sky, but the space-time continuum, too. But the happy couple's honeymoon got left far behind when it made that time skip, though. Here, let me check the airship out. Check the airship out for yourself with this pamphlet. Pamphlet for the Flying Chapel. Includes a brief introduction and diagrams of its layout. By the way, I figured you could use some backup, so I called in some help for you. You did? Yep. Should be here any minute now. It's not who I think it is it? That red sports car. Larry, don't tell me you called. You know it, buddy. I trust you've been well, right? Oh, it's her. Wait, when did you get a sports car? Could you imagine if it was Edgeworth himself? Wait, no. What if the twist was Edgeworth died and she just decided to channel him as a joke? That would be great. That would be really funny and also really tragic. Surprise! Now admit it. That was a pretty good Mr. Edgeworth impression, wasn't it? Maya, what are you doing here? Larry called me up. He said something about it finally being time for him to tie the old knot. That's funny.
I'm pretty sure he mentioned something about being here with his bride. Yeah, you want to explain yourself, Larry?
Maya, I know it's sudden, but please marry me.
You know, I'm surprised, like, Phoenix and Maya didn't hook up after all this time. You know, I think at this point it's pretty clear Phoenix just isn't interested, period. He had plenty of opportunity. I just don't think he's interested in anything. Nick, what's Larry talking about? He was dumped by his bride. Well, his imaginary bride, anyway. Wow, poor Larry. That's a new low, even for him. But hey, imaginary girlfriends never hurt anyone, right? More power to him. It's probably better if we just don't explain it at all. This is Maya Fey. She's been abroad for her training as a spirit medium, but now that her training's over, she's back home here in the States. That's right, the new and improved Maya Fey is on the scene. Spirit and girl power at the ready.
Yeah, look at you, Maya, all grown up as cute as ever. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. If I ever got married, I'd miss out on all the fun of always meeting somebody new.
Edgeworth, I figured that car belonged to you. But when did you become Maya's chauffeur?
It's nothing like that. I just happened to run into her en route and picked her up. And by run into her, I mean she jumped out in front of my car. I nearly ran her down.
This is Miles Edgeworth. He's a friend of mine, and the district's chief prosecutor. Heard he's been busy lately. So what brings you here? Wait, don't tell me Larry called you up too.
He did.
However, I have business of my own here at the crime scene. Business? What kind of business?
Just so you know, Wright, I'm the lead prosecutor on this case.
What, you?
Yes. It appears we'll be standing on opposite ends of the battlefield this time around.
So I'll be up against Edgeworth tomorrow. But I don't get it, Edgeworth. What about this case warrants the personal attention of the district's chief prosecutor?
It's a bit complicated, to say the least.
In what way?
The groom is a member of the Sprockets, a family with immense influence. If his bride were to stand trial in court, it would sully the Sprocket name. So they tried to apply some pressure on the prosecutor's office.
Pressure to sell it amicably, right?
What do you mean, sell it amicably?
It means they're trying to sweep this whole thing under the rug.
Wow, Sprocket Aviation really has that much clout?
Yes, they have especially strong ties in both the political and the judicial worlds.
To the point where no one dares oppose them.
Don't tell me that includes you.
Don't be ridiculous, right? It's quite the opposite. The prosecutor's office is filled with cowards, as I found out. Every last one of my subordinates was loath to prosecute a Sprocket. So that's why you decided to take the case yourself, right?
That's right.
I'll personally see to it that justice is served. I always prosecute to the utmost of my abilities, regardless of who I'm up against. But that is part of my creed. Nothing and no one can sway me from that. Not even the almighty Sprockets.
Right.
If they think they can use their influence to bend the truth, they have another thing coming.
You know, I almost feel sorry for them. They were only trying to protect their interests. But all they got instead was you. Yeah, in other words, the Sprockets are fucked. Even if he is the prosecutor.
Edgy, come on, man. How can you prosecute my poor sweet Ellie? What kind of heartless jerk are you? I'm simply doing my job. And I'm warning you, Wright. I won't hold back. Not for you or anyone else.
Thanks for the warning, your righteousness. So, how's it going, Mr. Chief Prosecutor? Busy as always, I presume?
Of course. Unlike somebody who has too few clients and too much time on his hands.
Guess that explains why your brow is more furrowed than the last time I saw you. Maybe you should learn to relax a little, Edgeworth.
Nice try, Wright. But as always, I have no intention of showing anyone any mercy. Including you.
As inflexible as ever, I see.
Besides, I think I've mellowed out a bit with age. So if anything, those furrows should have smoothed out a little as well.
Honestly, Edgeworth, are you really that blind to yourself?
Excuse me?
He's really self-conscious about those lines, isn't he? Edgeworth, about this incident.
Don't forget, Wright, I'm the prosecutor for this case. Need I remind you that I'm not in the habit of sharing information with my adversaries? Yeah, but we're friends. We're not adversaries. No. I guess we are adversaries for now. And you, Larry. Me. I'd like you to come with me. You have a lot to answer for after that little stunt you pulled with the suspect. But Edgy, we're old pals, aren't we? Personal appeals won't work on me, Larry. Now, come along. Nick, help me out here. I'll help you, I'll open the door for you. How about that? It's just me, or is Mr. Edgeworth as relentless as ever? Yeah, I guess some things never change. So much for mellowing out. Well, Nick, we'd better hop to it too. Hop to what? Investigating the crime scene, of course. What else? It's been a long time since you and I teamed up like this. This is gonna be fun. Fun, huh? It has been a long time, though, since we were last together like this. Alright, to the crime scene then. Yeah, and away we go. I want to see this airship. Ooh, what happened in here? Is that one of those lanterns that she was talking about? The one that the body was found in? So this is a reception hall. Going to the pamphlet. We're right here. Yikes. We're pretty high up, but at least we're indoors, so it doesn't seem so bad. You know, one thing I learned about these old blimps is that they actually, surprisingly, there was a lot of space inside that they could store, like, rooms and stuff. They would sometimes have, like, entire sleeping quarters inside there. Like, I always thought the balloon part was completely empty because it needed to be to, like, lift the whole thing, but no, there's more than enough room to put things in there. It doesn't have to be empty just for all the helium or hydrogen or whatever you're deciding to put in there. Oh, look, Nick, it's Emma. Hey, Emma, over here. Mr. Wright, Maya, does this mean you've taken the case? Yeah, that's how things kind of turned out. So, do you mind if we take a look around? Be my guest. We're pretty much wrapped up our investigation, so go right ahead. Now's a good chance to find out more about the case from Emma, too. I guess we'll talk to her first, and then we'll do some examination. Edgeworth wouldn't tell us anything about this case, so do you think you could give us a rundown? Well, seeing as he's going to be prosecuting, I'd expect him to be tight-lipped about it. The incident occurred yesterday on September 20th. It happened after the wedding reception, which lasted from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., huh? Got it. By the way, you didn't hear about any time traveling or anything, did you? Time traveling? What do you mean? Oh, nothing. Forget it. That's pretty much the response I expected. The victim's name is Dumas Oomsbury. He was a servant in the Sprocket family household. Ellen was a maid for that family as well, so that means the two of them were co-workers? Yes. Apparently they knew each other. Mr. Gloomsbury was the lead servant, after all. He was very serious about his work, but he was also a very close and private man. So the other servants called him Mr. Doom and Gloom behind his back. If he was the lead servant, that must have been higher ranked than Ellen. What makes the police think that Ellen killed this man, the guy who was essentially her boss? 1 second. There you go. Forgot to disconnect something. Okay, now we're good. We don't know the defendant's motive yet, but the circumstances surrounding the discovery of the body don't bode well for her. And what circumstances are those exactly? Well, some of her in-laws saw what looked like the immediate aftermath of the murder. The suspect was standing in front of the body with the murder weapon still in her hands. But why would a bride who was just about to start a happy new life kill someone? Do the police have an explanation for that? Yeah, about that. They believe the victim attacked the suspect and was killed when she fought back. You know, that's a good point, Doug. Usually in these sort of murder mysteries, it's the butler who did it.
And this one here, it seems like the butler's the one who got done in. But why did he attack her to begin with? Well, a mere servant girl was going to suddenly be the wife of the future president. Mr. Gloomsbury must have been more than just a little jealous of her. So this Mr. Doom and Gloom attacked Ellen first? But if she was only trying to protect herself, wouldn't that count as justified self-defense on her part, Nick? It would. There's a good chance she'd be acquitted if we could prove that, but I wonder what Edgeworth will have to have up his sleeve to counter that claim. Wow, a servant girl marrying the future president of such a huge company. Sounds like a modern-day fairy tale. It does, doesn't it? Thing is, not everyone was on board with their union, apparently. So what was the murder weapon, Emma? This clock with a secret mechanism built into it. It was on display here in the reception hall. Suspect was holding it when the murder was discovered. So the victim was clubbed to death with this, huh? That's funny, there's no blood on it as far as I could tell. Maybe it was wiped off in an attempt to tamper with the evidence? But there was definitely a luminol reaction. And it matches up with the shape of the injury, so it's gotta be the murder weapon. Yeah, but did you... If there's no blood sample, can you prove that's not like... What if it was a murder weapon in some other case? What if it was previously used as a murder weapon? What a funny looking clock. They call it the Timekeeper. The idea is that it's a time machine. Every time this couple sees it, it'll bring them back to the memory of their wedding day. Time machine, huh? Come to think of it. Ellen said her pendant was a part of a time machine. I wonder how the secret mechanism in this thing works. The suspect never had any family or relatives to depend on, so she was working as a live-in maid for the Sprocket family to support herself. So a maid with no family or fortune was set to marry the president's son, huh? I guess it's not surprising that ruffled a feather or two. Yes, apparently the groom's parents and all of these other relatives were strongly opposed, but that didn't stop the young couple from deciding to go ahead with their wedding. Love flourishes in the face of adversity. Oh, is that how it works? Yep. If you ever have any questions about love, just ask me. I'm a qualified expert. I spent all of my spare time including watching soap operas on TV. I'm not sure that's enough to make you qualified anything, Maya. Oh, and by the way, I heard the suspect faced her fair share of harassment too. And from the sound of it, it got pretty ugly for her. So even though this incident could cause a huge scandal for the company, it might be a boon for those who opposed their marriage to begin with. After all, with Ellen's arrest and everything, the marriage is most definitely off now. Alright, let's see what we can find. Oh, we can rotate here too. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was. This must be the lantern the body was found in. Ellen managed to move it quite a ways. It looks like a cow, but it's pretty badly broken. It's not a cow, Nick. That's Pegasus, the flying horse. No way. It's definitely a cow. It's got horns and everything. But look, it has wings. Cows don't have wings. So it's Pegasus, I tell you. Oh, I know. The pamphlet should tell us. Let's see. Apparently it's called a Pegamoo. I did not see that coming. Yet somehow the name really captures the essence of what this creature is, you know? Huh, that's strange. What is? Well, this Pegamoo is definitely a male Pegabull, right? Yeah, I'd say so. What, with horns and all? Okay, well... that Pegamoo over there is also a Pegabull. But take a look at the pamphlet. See? The one on the right says Pegabull, but the other one says Pega-Cow. A female Pegamoo. Right. Pamphlet goes on to say how they have Pegamoos for the happy couple. So for Ellen's ceremony, there should have been a male and female pair of Pegamoos. But for some reason, there are two males here. Maybe somebody made a mistake when they were setting up the room? Yeah, it's hard to believe a fancy place like this would make that kind of blunder, though. Horns don't belong on there, maybe? Put there afterwards? Why is there two wheels? Like, turning wheels. And one's bloody. Are we sure that's not the murder weapon? Did this come from the lantern? It's covered in blood. Maybe it got in there when the killer was putting the body in the lantern? Can you imagine going to open a door and finding a knob covered in blood? That'd be bloody awful, to say the least. It's a great joke there, Phoenix. 10 out of 10. So this is where the body was found. And the first person to find it was Ellen. Emma, what can you tell me about the condition of the body when it was found? Let's see. The victim was apparently hit on the back of the head. Here's a photo of the scene as we found it. Yeah, see, those, I agree with you, Jack. Those names about the cows, I'm not sure how I feel about them either, at least the first half of them. It's a little weird. I get what they're going for. They ain't really, I don't think that one really went through, you know, the PR department very much. Could use a little more workshopping. Hey, what's this? Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista deck. Why is that part blurry? Oh, let me take a look. Grab Ellen when convenient, then send her off from the Vista deck. It looks like a note outlining the murder plot. Whoever wrote it has better handwriting than me, but it looks like they wrote it in a rush. And why do you say that? Because the writing's only smudged starting from the middle of each line. What happens when a right-handed person with a slight hook writes in a hurry? I do it sometimes myself when I'm not paying attention to where my hand is on the page. I guess I'll take your word on that, Miss Bad Handwriting Expert. Hey, even I don't smudge my handwriting this badly. Alright, let's get back to the note. That note was apparently written by the victim. But why would he feel the need to write instructions to himself like this? Are you sure the victim wrote it? I sometimes write a note to myself before I go shopping. Potatoes, carrots, onions, flour. Maya, are you craving curry rice or something? Whoops. So, Emma, where's this Vista deck the note mentions? It's that heliport you see right outside the window over there. So you plan on pushing Ellen off from there? What a monster. Wow, this blimp has a helipad? That's a really fancy blimp. What would make them left-handed, though? Because, like, Maya just said that a right-handed person would be the kind of person that would, make smudges like that. What do you think this is, Maya? Looks like a flower petal to me. What an unusual shape for a flower petal. You suppose it's from one of the flowers here in the reception hall? No, I don't see a single flower like this at any of the tables. Wonder where it came from. Are we sure that's not like an eye or something? Like it to me it makes me look like it looks like an eye that would belong to one of these cows. These peggable cows. Guess that about does it for this lantern. Yeah, almost like it. I guess it doesn't because you look at that and it clearly shouldn't be there, but it looks like something you'd paste there. So that's the Vista deck out there. I bet the view's amazing. But I guess it must also kind of freak you out, huh, Nick? Yeah, kind of. Mostly because there's no surviving a fall from way up here. This is the sweetheart table where the bride and groom sit. Where they gorge themselves on the wedding feast, you mean? I'd be too nervous in front of a bunch of guests like this, though. They say that newlyweds are usually really busy during the reception, you know. They have to greet and talk with all the guests that came to give their blessings. They don't actually get all that much time to enjoy their dinner. Aw, I wouldn't be able to stand that. I can't imagine having a huge feast right in front of me and not being able to eat it. They say brides tend to have an especially hard time because of their wedding dresses. With those tight corsets squeezing their waists, they can barely eat a bite. Really? Sounds like wedding receptions are absolute torture. They suck. Fuck weddings. I guess food still wins out over romance in Maya's book. I've been to several. They were never fun. Not a single one of them. This place must be where the time machine was. Can't believe such a beautiful memento was used for murder. It's just awful. Left-hand person writing left to right could have had their hands smudged the way that they write. That's what I was thinking, but the problem with that notion... Oops, wrong button. If we look at the note, look at the way it's smudged. Like, see how the trail goes from left to right? So a left-handed person writing, they're not gonna smudge it like that, because their hand's gonna be on the wrong side. It's gonna be over here on the left. But like a right-handed person, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how this could have actually happened, even with a right-handed person, because you're writing here. So like you start the G, R, A, B. This stuff over here isn't written yet. So how do you smudge it when it hasn't been written? Unless you're writing it backwards or something, but then like the trail should be the other way. It does look wet, yeah. I don't know what's going on with it. It almost looks like someone tried to erase it. I don't know, does it say what this was written in? Yeah, it doesn't say what if it was written in pencil or pen, but it looks smudged in a really weird way. Like someone would have had to smudge it afterwards. I don't see how you can smudge a letter like that while you're writing it. Just, it doesn't seem physically possible. Nick, we have to prove Ellen's innocence, no matter what it takes. I agree. Can't let this go down as the saddest flying wedding reception in history. How many of those do we even have to put on the ranking list there? I think that about does it for this area. Wow, look at the horns on this flying bovine. He must be a bull. Seems he made it through the ceremony in one piece. By the look at those wheels, I bet he can be rolled around rather easily, too. Yeah, I bet this would be quite a hassle if you had to lift and carry him everywhere. And this is what the backside looks like. What's up by the bottom of his tail? A wheel handle? Oh, I get it. This way they can get inside to change the light bulbs. You see, they left the wheel handle on the inside unpainted. I guess they figured nobody would see it, so why bother? Why would there even need to be a wheel on the inside? This thing seems so over-engineered for a lantern. Like, why does it need such a big compartment on the inside? Why does it have, like, dials and a steam exhaust or something on the outside? The only reason you put a handle on the inside is because you're going to put a person on the inside. Makes sense to cut costs where you can. Yeah, like, why is there, like, a pipe coming out the back? Why does it need a cow catcher? They didn't even see the irony in that. Well, overall, I can't say I see anything strange about this thing. What do you mean nothing strange? The entire existence of it is strange. I want to go take a look. Can we take a closer look? No, okay. Look at this. Like, why is there, like, a steam exhaust? And pipes and shit? Is it just for decoration? It's a Trojan horse. Yeah, it's a fucking Trojan cow. Deliberately designed the whole people. It's hot air balloon, symbol of humanity's ambition to take to the skies. It's kind of a romantic notion, don't you think? Yeah, but I just noticed that it doesn't seem to be tied up to the ceiling all that well. I'm sure it's fine. Please don't let it fall on my head. It's got some pretty decent ropes. You'd be surprised how well those things can hold. I've seen restaurants where they, like, suspend a motorcycle by ropes like that. Probably a lot heavier than that hot air balloon. This looks like a perfect place to hide. Wonder what this partition is for. I imagine people like the reception staff or entertainers use it. Probably wait behind it when they're on standby. I see. With a partition this size, I bet they could even fit an elephant back there. Not that anyone sane would. They have a lot of Greek references here. How so? I mean, I get the whole Pegasus thing. But I mean, in this age, Pegasi are pretty universal. They may have Greek origins, but I feel like they've kind of transcended their Greek origin. A steampunk Greek wedding. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of steampunk stuff for sure. It's a fog machine. I wonder if they used it during the reception. Ooh! Hey, Nick, go stand over there for a second. Why? Just because. Now go. Alright.
I've got a bad feeling about this. That is gonna be a lot of fog if this is the exhaust. Fogmaster 9000, on! Maya, no! Huh? Aw, nothing happened. Looks like it won't work without some dry ice. Darn it, all I wanted to do was surround you in a thick cloud of smoke. The device that utilizes dry ice to emit a large amount of thick, fog-like vapor. Why do you want a fog machine at your wedding? And like, don't fog machines, don't they usually put them like on the floor? Like, so, and then they just release fog down here? That thing's releasing it from the ceiling, and there's 2 of them, even. What kind of wedding was this? You know what, it's a rich person wedding. It's probably why I don't understand it. The arches kind of look Greek-Roman, I guess. I don't know, I've seen lots of steampunk stuff, and usually these kind of arches are pretty common in steampunk as well, though, to be fair. Like, the thing with steampunk is, like, especially with arches like these, it's very much got a Victorian theme to it, like a 19th century Victorian aesthetic. And these kind of arches are pretty common. Although the pillars, yeah, maybe these pillars maybe. Well, that's kind of like an 1800s kind of thing too. They liked their pillars back then. They're very much Greek-inspired, so I guess you're right in a way. That's one big partition screen. Industrial size, even. I bet it caused an industrial-sized mess if it fell over. And that's why you're not allowed to touch it, Maya. What? He's gonna test how stable it is. Just leave it alone, please. Does this one work? It's fog machine for the reception. Pretty cool, huh? Don't you dare touch it. Aw, spoil sport. That's because I know how you operate. Don't even get to see if it has dry ice in it. What if it doesn't work? What if it, like, spews out, I don't know, blood or the murder weapon or something? Model airplane. Perfect decoration for an airline company wedding. And a propeller plane like this lends the room a great old-timey feel. Oh, I'd love to see the Steel Samurai fly a plane like this. Can you picture it? The Steel Samurai zipping through the clouds over Neo-Old Tokyo? If Sprocket Aviation ever becomes a sponsor of the show, I could see it happening. Why didn't I think of that? I think I'll go suggest the idea to them later. But please at least wait until after the trial is over. Maybe she can get some residuals from having that idea. I'm sure that's how it works. Would you marry for love or money? I don't think I'd marry, period. I've never really thought about that because I've never really had thought about marrying anyone. Looks like somebody forgot their wallet here. Looks like a business card wallet. Wonder whose it is. That face looks awfully familiar. Yes, yes it does. Guess I'll bring it to him later. What, he didn't come up with us to the crime scene? Maybe he wasn't allowed. I don't know, Larry behaves himself in crime scenes. We've seen him at a few. Well, I guess that just about does it for the crime scene. Hey, Nick. I want to see the rest of the airship. We might as well since we're here. True, might even run into some of the other people involved in the case. Like this guy. These almost look like prototype character designs for Great Ace Attorney. Nick, how long has that guy been standing there? I didn't even notice him until just now. Excuse me, are you with Sprocket Aviation? Huh? Nick, he wrote something on that paper airplane. I guess we're supposed to read it then. Let's see here. Get out, intruders. Well, that was a rather cold welcome. It's alright, Maya. Meet the lone son of the president of Sprocket Aviation. Soren Sprocket.
Or to put it another way, the future president of Sprocket Aviation. So he's Ellen's fiance. Is he just not very talkative, or is he still upset about the events? Oh, there he goes. He's kind of an eccentric. I hear he's the genius inventor behind many of Sprocket Aviation's business successes. An inventor, huh? Yep, he even designed this airship. That's pretty impressive. Nick, there's no time to be standing around gawking. We have to go after him. We need to ask him some questions about Ellen. Oh, right. Looks like he was headed outside. Guess he went back down here then. I thought he was gonna go to, like, the dock or something. There he is. Excuse me, could we talk to you? Excuse me, do you mind if I ask what you're doing? I think it's pretty clear what he's doing. Is this how the cross-examination's gonna go with this guy? He sure is writing up a storm. It is possible. If an enormous change in theoretically matter can retain its form even as it crosses the event horizon. Let's just see what he has to say about Ellen. Never mind, I guess he can talk. Excuse me, but we'll be representing Ellen in court tomorrow, so could we ask you about the case? Ow! What the? Not interested? Not interested? How can you say something like that? It's about your fiancée. She's under arrest, you know. He's totally the murderer. The diameter of the airship is approximately 80 feet. The amount of energy necessary to move matter comprised of that amount of mass is... stuff in his own little world. Can't believe he said he wasn't interested in talking about his own bride's arrest. We'll just have to talk on his level then, with something he might be interested in. We even have anything like that? What are you showing me that for? I don't think he liked it. Mr. Sprocket! I can't read him at all. Not even with an item as loaded with sentiments as this. Nope. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The wallet? Okay, I'll click on the wallet. I don't think that's gonna do anything. We know who that wallet belongs to. Ugh, this guy really doesn't want to talk, does he? Okay, we'll try we'll try the gear too. I want to try the wallet though. Nope, nothing. How about her gear? The one you gave her. Could you take a look at this? Is that Ellen's? Ellen told us that she traveled through time during the incident. She said it happened after she made a wish on this pendant. You mean to say you two are Ellen's lawyers? Yes. I just told you that a minute ago. Sorry, I was lost in thought. He wasn't even listening. Oh boy. He's not at all what I expected, based on Ellen's gushing testimonial anyway. We'd like to ask you about Ellen's case, if you don't mind. I don't know a thing about it, so why don't you go ask the police? In other words, not interested. This guy's the worst. I feel sorry for poor Ellen. In that case, can I ask you about how Ellen traveled through time? Go on. Guess that got your attention. So, is time travel really even possible? Yes, it is possible. Alrighty then. At the same time, it is also impossible. The pendant I gave Ellen is not supposed to operate as a time machine by itself. What do you mean? The timekeeper, that clock we had displayed in the reception hall, that is the body of the time machine. The pendant is simply a part. That clock was a murder weapon, wasn't it? What's a time machine too? What Ellen experienced is akin to traveling down a road by car key. Physically and metaphysically, it should be impossible. Unless, maybe the quantum system inside the pendant somehow accidentally interfered with the natural flow of the fourth dimension. We're losing him again. Maybe we'd better ask him some more about the time machine. So you've been researching time travel, have you? Moving through the space-time continuum would be man's ultimate means of travel. Time travel is a mode of transportation. Since the dawn of time, man has developed multifarious methods of transportation. Horses, steam engines, gas engines, airplanes, spaceships. But they are all fundamentally similar in that they constitute three-dimensional movement. And travel through the space-time continuum would shift mankind into a new paradigm. I don't know why, Nick, but I'm getting awfully sleepy all of a sudden. I am, like, shocked. Okay, maybe it can still happen, I guess, because we've only met one character. But if there's not a single character who has Wells in the name somewhere, I'll be very disappointed. For generations, Sprocket Aviation has advanced the development of transportation. Therefore, it is only natural that I would research time travel as man's next great leap. Oh, is he done? So what exactly is all that stuff he was saying mean, Nick? Well, basically, it's like taking a hamburger joint and adding a drive-thru to it, I guess? Oh, I get it. It's the same burger, but with a quicker and more efficient delivery system. So what Soren really wants to do is launch humanity into the future. Launch, not lunch. But do you really believe that time travel is possible? It becomes truly impossible and man stops daring to believe. Besides, time travelers do exist, you know. But you won't understand. Did you hear that, Nick? Time travelers really do exist. All I know is Soren isn't the easiest guy to wrap your head around. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like the way he talks. He's full of hope for the future. He's more passionate than I thought, too. When it comes to inventions, anyway. Yeah, his apparent lack of concern for Ellen is troubling, though. So I hear that the rest of the Sprocket family was opposed to your marriage. What are your thoughts on that? Oh. Wait, what? Isn't he the guy that died? It's time for the meeting on the next term's project. What is this? Daydreaming about your inventions again? Tut-tut, you're the future president. You must consider the business side too. It is I found Soren. Send the car over at once. I'm not interested. Oh, Master Soren, you do give me quite the headache at times. In any case, your attendant is waiting. Please go to him now. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, where are my manners? My name is Pierce Nickety. Please call me Pierce. I'm the Sprocket family butler. I thought the other guy who died was the butler, and you look kind of like him. But I guess Nick wouldn't know that because he hasn't actually seen him. Nick, a butler? I didn't know they actually still existed. I thought they were just on TV and stuff. Okay, never mind. He's the butler, so he did it. He killed the butler. The butler killed the butler. And who might you be, if you don't mind my asking? Oh, I'm Phoenix Wright, Ellen Wyatt's lawyer. And I'm his assistant, Maya Fey. I'm a spirit medium. Oh, so it is you. I am most grateful for your taking on Miss Ellen's defense. You have my sincerest thanks. don't mention it. So, hey, speaking of the case... Oh, one moment, please. Wow, what a beautiful pocket watch. Oh, this? It's just a bit of a good luck charm. That's one expensive good luck charm. But I guess it makes sense, knowing time is pretty important in his line of work. So I guess that pocket watch is as important to him as my attorney's badge is to me. There's little time before I must attend to Master Soren again. Why not come to Sprocket Manor? Huh? You mean to Soren's home? As a token of my appreciation for taking on Miss Ellen's defense, I would like to serve you some delicious tea and refreshments. Oh boy, Nick. Fancy high society tea party. With high-class snacks and everything. And what about the investigation? Are you kidding? What better place to investigate next than Soren's house? I don't know. Do you really think his house is going to give us any new leads? Of course it will. I say we take the butler up on his kind offer and go to Soren's place. Alright. You win. I mean, we could at the very least maybe get to talk to Pierce. Very good. To Sprocket Manor, then. I wanted to explore the airship more. Man, I thought everything was gonna take place on the airship. I guess this is fine. Wow, this place does not disappoint. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, where are you going? Whoa, slow down, Maya. This mansion isn't going anywhere. Now then, we won't have to worry about anyone untoward eavesdropping here. I take it you wanted to ask me some questions? Huh? That's why you invited us here? I am sorry to have tricked you like this, but this is a murder after all. I couldn't talk openly about it in public and risk sullying the Sprocket family's reputation. Aw, and I was really looking forward to all those fancy snacks too. There, Maya, don't cry. This Pierce guy is one shrewd man. Hey Nick, look at that cute vintage radio. Radio? Oh, that thing over there under the stuffed bull's head. I'm gonna take a closer look. I thought I told you to settle down. I'm sorry. Not to worry. Wow. He can fix it just like that? Damn. Why do they keep having bulls? Because they're like fucking they time traveled from the 19th century, so of course they have bull heads. It's because they're bullheaded. It's to show how bullheaded they are. Wow, that little mech fixed it right up. I'm not only the butler, but I'm also Sprocket Aviation's repair department director. One might say that patching things up is my specialty. That was incredible. What is that little doohickey on your shoulder anyway? It is my FXR UPR shoulder mech. Master Soren made it for me. It has too many features and functions to effectively enumerate at the moment, though. It's so cool. I wish I had one of those. Fixing things is a simple matter. But fixing people is a different matter. Even a skilled physician can't bring back the dead. Oh, but forgive me. I seem to have gotten sidetracked. He must be in shock over Mr. Gloomsbury's death. Still, I do need to ask him some questions about the case. I should take a look around and see what I can find out while I'm here, too. About the incident Miss Ellen was arrested for. Do you think she did it? Well, I can't prove it yet, but no, I don't think she could have done it. I guess you could call it a gut feeling. I see. I guess we have very different opinions then. Do we now? The prosecution says that when Gloomsbury attacked Miss Ellen, she fought back and ended up killing him. I agree with this perspective. Or rather, that is the consensus of the entire Sprocket family. Even so, I heard an interesting story from Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. I heard that the Sprocket family had tried to pressure the prosecutor's office into burying this case. Reminds me of this one Greek myth about a queen who was down bad a magic bowl, so she had a broken bowl made so she could hide inside it and fuck the bowl. I don't think I ever heard that one. I'm not surprised that exists. That seems pretty on par for Greek. Oh, she was the mother of the Minotaur. Okay. Yeah, I never really heard a lot about Minotaur lore, so... But that would make sense. I fear you are mistaken. All we sought was merely a legal consolation. And besides, none of it matters now, as she is no longer part of this family. Fortunately for us, they had yet to get her marriage license before holding the banquet. So basically, once they realized they couldn't sway the prosecution, they cut her loose. I realize how callous I must sound, but my duty is to protect the Sprocket family, and more specifically, Sprocket Aviation's future and Master Soren, whose genius is essential to the company. I will do anything to achieve that goal. That is my job as the Sprocket family butler. You know, I think Pierce and Mr. Edgeworth would get along really well, don't you think? Yeah, I could easily picture Edgeworth with a butler. Oh, and by the way, I suppose I should tell you about this as well. It's about when the members of the extended family and I discovered the crime. You know what? I bet Edgeworth does have a butler, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to who that might be. Considering we haven't seen him around anymore. Did Ellen say anything to you about traveling through time? She must have been delirious. There's no need to take such a claim seriously. Soren himself said that time travel was possible, though. Master Soren said that? It sounds like he is still stuck in the past. He's psychologically stuck, I take it. Excuse me. What is it? I see. I believe I told you the Madame will be having milk tea. Still have lemon slices at the ready just in case. We must not disappoint her, understand? You sure are busy. All in the day's work. Still, we really do need Master Soren to start focusing on the business side of things soon. Could you tell us about that thing you mentioned about Soren's past? There is something in Master Soren's past that he wishes he could change. Please forgive me. This isn't something I should be sharing with strangers. I really want to know what Soren's still hung up on. It was sometime after the reception. Some of the Master's relatives and I went to clean up the reception hall. And that is when we saw it. How is that called private? I'm guessing he probably has like an earpiece. So, like, only he can hear the other side. A woman standing in front of the victim with a bloody murder weapon in her hand. Objection! There was no blood found on the murder weapon. But that means this wasn't the murder weapon then. It was none other than Miss Ellen. But, Pierce, it wasn't what it looked like. That's right, she just happened to find the body. I do not know what Miss Ellen has told you, but what we witnessed was unmistakably the moment immediately after the deed had been committed. And that is what I told the police who came in response to my call. I see. So Pierce was the one who reported it to the police, huh? Alright, let's see what else we can find here. Nick, look at that airplane propeller up there going around and round. I see they've got aviation theme going on. Makes sense for an airline family. What if it doubles as a fan? That would be a very shitty fan. Ooh, what if the rest of the plane were on the other side of that wall? And the wall would open up so the plane could take off in an emergency. How cool would that be? If that's what's behind the propeller wall, then what's behind the bull wall across the way? Oh, I know. Maybe it's the rest of him. That must be where the sprockets get their milk. Nick, first of all, that's a beef cow. And second, bulls don't make milk. Oh, right. That's what I get for trying to play along. Hey, Nick. Now here's a real lady. She looks as smart as a whip, doesn't she? I wonder who she is. We didn't see her on the airship. That's Selena Sprocket, Soren's elder sister. Beautiful and capable, she was a great lady. Soren's sister. I think I see the resemblance. Oh, she's fucking dead, isn't she? 100% guaranteed she's fucking dead. Maybe I'll show Pierce this photo later and ask him about her. Oh, are these pictures of the wedding reception? Yes, I took them with my trusty camera here. Do you mind if we have a look at that photo? Be my guest. Take as long as a look as you'd like. Alright, you know what? Now that I've seen the fog machine in action, I'm kinda coming around to it. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Well, what do you think of this gorgeous dreamscape? A thick fog billows across the room, making it look as if the couple were walking on clouds. Wow, look how beautiful Ellen is here. She looks a little nervous, though. It's actually a pretty good idea. She does, doesn't she? Hey, look, there's Pierce. Really? Where? Right there, behind the sweetheart table. Hey, you're right. I bet he was there attending to the happy couple the whole dinner. So what do you think, Nick? Does anything in this photo stick out at you? No, not at the moment anyway. I mean, with all the fog around though, it would be a perfect time to murder someone. Hey, Nick, if Ellen really did travel back in time, do you think this photo is of the second reception? You know, after the time jump? I mean, it would have to be, right? Because, like, we're in that timeline? I don't think we're in the first timeline. I wonder. Excuse me, sir? Yes? Can I help you? Ellen told us she traveled back in time. Would you happen to know anything about that? Oh, no, I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about. He climbed up faster than a clam. Oh, he's in on it. This whole thing's a ruse. The time travel never happened. They all just tricked her into thinking it happened. I'm calling it now. That's how there's no time travel. Excuse me, but there's a card here on the floor. Well, look at that. It's a Flying Chapel key card. Flying Chapel? What areas on the Flying Chapel require a key card, if I may ask? And mostly areas we want to keep the public out of, such as the staff room and the hold, which is chock full of machinery. So you can't enter those areas without a key card. That's right. Well, this one here belongs to Ellen. Wait, what's Ellen's key card doing here? Did Ellen come back here after the incident occurred? I don't believe so. And she was arrested by the police straight away this morning. Although, there was a strange man with a gaudy jacket in here earlier. Was that man wearing a beret, by any chance? Yes, he was, as a matter of fact. He was also wearing sunglasses and a fake mustache. I knew it. The only question is, what was he doing here? What if Larry actually is the killer somehow? Like, I mean, do we really want to end the series like this, though? With Larry being the killer? Is that how we're gonna wrap this all up? It would certainly be different. Oh, it's the bridal bouquet. Hey, Nick, how about I throw it? And you try and catch it. Why me? Just because. I bet you look hilarious flying around trying to grab it. But doesn't tradition dictate that it's the ladies that go after the bouquet? Who cares? Just catch it. Here. He just doesn't want to catch it because he can't. Ow! Hey, you threw that right in my face. Oh, you don't want to catch that bouquet, trust me. Why not? They say it's bad luck to catch the bouquet of a marriage that doesn't last. But I already caught it. Whoops. Too late now, huh, Nick? And thus, that's why he'll never be married. Don't you dare touch that radio again. Looks like an expensive antique. What are you worried about? If it breaks again, Pierce will just fix it up again. I really hope he's nice enough to waive the repair bill. A bull. Come to think of it, there was a bull logo on the side of the Flying Chapel, too. As in, the company must have a thing for cattle. The bull is the symbol of the sprocket aviation. To be as strong and steady as a bull. That's the company's creed, you know. Probably for all the back-breaking labor they put their employees through. By the way, that bull logo in the Flying Chapel, the one with the rainbow wings, his name is Rainy the Rainbow. You get it? I get it. He's a rainbow-colored bull, so he's a rainbow, right? What a memorable name, huh, Nick? Yeah, for the lameness of the pun. Oh, so all the other names he's ever had to prosecute and defend against, those are fine. But he draws the line at rainbow. Okay. Okay, what did we get here we're presenting? Was it this? Oh no, I think it was this. This incident has severely damaged the company's reputation. I expect reservations for weddings on the Flying Chapel will face an unfortunate decline. Pierce, you just lost a subordinate, yet all you can think about is the business? I am not made of stone, I assure you. But if the company were to go under because of this incident, countless employees would lose their jobs. I see. But to be honest, I wish we could have hidden this tragedy from the public. Oh, it was the sister pick? Okay. Well, hey, this gave us a pretty interesting conversation. But now that it's going to trial, I suppose there's nothing to be done about it. So the fate of the company depends on this trial. This is more than I bargained for. Pierce, the woman in this photo is Soren's older sister, Selena, right? I don't think we've met her yet. Yes, about that. He seems hesitant all of a sudden. If you wouldn't mind, could you tell us about her? All right, very well. She's a big part of Master Soren's past, after all. Soren's past? Master Soren will become the next president of Sprocket Aviation. However, that wasn't always so. Miss Selena Sprocket, Master Soren's elder sister, was next in line. So why isn't she becoming the next president? Because she died in a car accident. What? I had no idea. Actually, Master Soren was also in the car with her at the time of the accident, and losing the sister he loved right before his eyes devastated him. Ever since then, he has buried himself in his research on time machines. He also became a quiet and meticulous, almost compulsive, note-taker around then. He seemed so stiff and robotic. I had no idea he was carrying all that around inside him. Master Soren has abandoned the company business and spends all his time on his inventions. As the family butler, I'm truly concerned. I believe it is high time he let go of the past. Why are you here? Forget asking me why I'm here, but why are you here? Larry? Oh man, Edgy gave me a heck of a hard time. Larry, what are you doing here? I came to promote my new character, Piglet. I was hoping Sprocket Aviation would do some kind of tie-in with me for it. Wow, I didn't know Larry was such an aggressive businessman. You could learn a thing or two from him, Nick. Why don't you promote your agency to him? Now is not exactly the time for that, in case you haven't noticed. See, and this is why you'll never be rich. Actually, Larry, I've been meaning to ask you something. You were there on the Flying Chapel yesterday, right? Huh? Was I? What were you doing there? Nothing. Whatever it was, I bet it wasn't anything to be proud of, but never mind that. Did you see anything that had to do with the case? Scratch that. Let's start with, you weren't involved in this case, were you? Larry? What did he do this time? He took off. I just knew it. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Come on, Maya. After him. Oh, are you leaving so soon? We, have to run. Thank you for making time for us. I know you have to investigate, but please try to spare the family's feelings as you do. Yes, of course. Now, where could he possibly run off to? Did he go all the way back to the airship? Yes, he did. There he is. Hey, Larry.
Hey there, friend. Fancy meeting you here.
There's nothing fancy about it. All we did was follow you. So, tell me, Larry, why did you run away like that?
Huh? Me? I don't know what you're talking about. A bowl of inspiration for my new picture book hit me and I had to run is all. It was like a epiphany, you dig?
Right. He's just gonna keep on playing dumb, isn't he, Nick? Come on, Larry. I know you were on that airship, so what'd you see?
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything because I was never on that stupid airship.
Ah, there it is. Didn't he just say yesterday that he was, like, literally at the wedding? I mean, why else would he have, you know, ran away with the bride-to-be? Cyclops.
You say something?
The spiritual power of this Magatama allows me to see these mystical locks that appear when someone is trying to hide something from me. They're called Cyclops, and when I see them, I simply present the Magatama to try my hand at breaking them. If I can unlock them, I'm sure to finally get a straight answer out of him. Now, are we able to do that now, or is this like we have to go and find stuff? Because the last time we did this, we were able to do it the moment we discovered the Cyclops, and I was a little disappointed by that fact. I definitely prefer having to go and figure out and get the clues to solve the puzzle, rather than just be given everything first. But we're gonna give it a try. There's no time for games, Larry. I will find out what you're hiding.
I'm telling you, Nick, got it all wrong. I've got nothing to do with this case whatsoever.
Oh, come on, Larry. Even a baby could see through such a blatant obvious lie. Nothing whatsoever, huh? If you weren't involved, Larry, then you wouldn't have been involved with this person. You're the one who brought Ellen to my office in the first place. And all those cops. Nothing to do with the case whatsoever. Isn't gonna cut it this time, Larry. If you have to lie, at least do a better job of it.
Don't diss me, Nick. If you're so convinced I'm lying, then let me ask you this. What makes you think I was on that stupid old airship anyway? Let me see some proof, if you got any.
Doubling down, are you? Fine. You want proof, Larry? Here's proof you were on that airship. Is he in this photo? Surprisingly not, but we do know he was there because this exists.
Uh-oh.
This is your business card wallet, isn't it, Larry? I found it in the reception hall. Time to come clean, Larry Butts. What exactly are you hiding?
Alright, fine, you got me. I'll tell you everything.
I mean, you're probably right, Jack. He probably was chilling for his, like, new picture book. That's what he keeps talking about anyways. He hasn't stopped talking about the entire time we've met him. My question is, how did he even get in there in the first place? Was it a public wedding? Seems a little hard to believe. Larry, what were you doing on that airship anyway?
Well, I went there to deliver the welcome to our wedding sign they ordered for me.
Okay, alright. That's fair. Huh. I didn't know you took on real jobs like that, too.
Well, for your information, my wedding welcome signs are very popular on the net.
And that's how you met Ellen.
Uh-huh. I mean, I'd seen her in the photo for the welcome sign, but seen her in person. The way she smiled at me and said thank you. Feel like I'd be hit by lightning.
And that's when you fell in love with somebody else's bride, huh? So, were you invited to the reception?
Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall.
Smart move on their part, I'd say.
I got upset and started wandering around the airship. That must have been when I dropped my business card wallet. So somebody else must have found it and brought it to the reception hall then. But you know what? I saw something incredible while I was on that flying chapel. Like... Get a load of this. Ah, one of Larry's famous drawings that has managed to be the key evidence in every single case that we've seen it in. So, what exactly is this Aerodactyl doing outside the window, What the heck is this? What do you mean, what is this? Isn't it obvious? It's a drawing. His drawings have become a lot better, though. Like, this looks professional. I sketched a picture on one of the cabins on the airship. So, what's so incredible about a cabin? Look at what was outside the window. It's one of those flying dinosaurs, a real-life pterodactyl. Look just outside out the captain window, and there it was, just flying out there. That airship traveled through time, I tell you. What? When I told that Pierce Butler guy about it, he told me to never mention it to anybody ever again. But why would he try to keep you from spouting what is clearly just nonsense? Maybe Sprocket Aviation is secretly developing a time machine. No way. Nick, this case is totally amazing. Larry, you didn't tell Mr. Edgeworth about this, did you? Of course not. Edgy would just roll his eyes and think I was off my rocker. I didn't even tell him I was wandering around on the airship. I told him I met Ellie at the mooring dock and we ran away together. Yeah, I can see Edgeworth's eyes rolling right out of his head had he heard about this. Nah, this is all part of the stunt. The entire time travel thing is fake. This was all part of the stunt. It was probably just a big show for the guests. So Larry also experienced a time slip somehow. But how is that possible? Hey Nick, I'll be taking my card wallet back now if you don't mind. Oh yeah, this is for you. What is it? He's also done perfect realism before. Remember the ending pictures of A3? That was in World Made by him. I don't remember those pictures, but I'll take your word for it. I forgot about that because the only ones I remember seeing was he obviously did the evidence for 3-5, and that was pretty amateurish. And then I remember the one he did in Investigations 2, and that one was like a little better. But this is like a huge step up from all of that. I don't remember what the ending scene looked like in 3. It's a picture of the hold. I took it when I was wandering around on the airship. See? There's Ellie right there in the middle. The hold. Yeah, see? It's right here on the diagram. Okay, so now I know where the hold is, but what was Ellen doing there? Well, they were using it as a prepping area for the reception. I see. And around when did you take this? Before the reception. I took it while Ellie was still getting everything ready. So this was taken before the incident occurred. I don't know if it'll be of any help, but thanks for this anyway. How did she get there? Well, this was before the reception, right? And she said that she was, like, still working as a maid. As, like, her final task for the family. By the way, Larry, I heard the door to the hold is controlled by a security system. So, how did you get in there? That's a trade secret. I can't tell you. And the hits just keep on coming. Well, I guess that's basically a wrap on the investigation. Not quite, Nick. I want to meet Ellen, too. Oh, that's right. You haven't met her yet, have you? Okay, let's go head over to the detention center then, so you can say hi. That's true, and her card wasn't on her. So, I mean, we know how Larry got in. You know what? Okay, well, it's probably like a really simple explanation for Ellen. She was just like, oh no, I dropped my card. And then one of the other maids is like, oh, sure, I'll let you in. Like, I don't think it would be that hard to believe that someone just let her in.
They all know it's her. There's no reason not to. No. Why? Please understand that this is in Master Sword's best interest. Sounds like Ellen's busy talking with someone. The next president cannot be married to a criminal with disgraced Sprocket Aviation. Miss Ellen, I need you to forget about this marriage. Pardon us. Ah, if it isn't Mr. Wright. So, their marriage is definitely off? There is no other choice. You cannot have a criminal in the family. And for the sake of Master Sword and the Sprocket family, this is what is best. Oh. In that case, what if Nick here proved Ellen's innocence? Then you wouldn't have the criminal in the family, right? I suppose you are right, but I'm afraid that will be impossible. That's not true. Not for Nick. He may look like a nobody, but he can do some pretty amazing things. I don't take cases on lightly, so rest assured I will prove her innocence. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I understand your name is quite well known in the judicial world. For better or for worse. Pierce, I want you to promise me this. If I can prove Ellen's innocence, then you won't stand in the way of Soren and Ellen's marriage. Very well. But not even the most talented lawyer in the world can change reality itself. And the reality is, Miss Ellen is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. What, you think this guy wants to marry Ellen instead, Jack? I guess that wouldn't really work, because then, you know, that doesn't... He doesn't mind being married to a criminal? Framing, or framed criminal? I believe that's where you're wrong, Pierce. I'm clean. I swear I am. Obsessively, compulsively clean. Just as clean and pure as this pure white dress. What is she going to scrub when she gets to the courtroom? There's not like there's going to be a window there for her to clean. Fine, you have my word. But you will be the one to regret this promise. No, the family wants her out, so they frame her so she can't marry him. Oh, yeah, I see. And he's just in on it, of course, because he's the butler. Now, if you will excuse me. He probably did it. He probably killed the other butler and then framed her as all part of the plan. That was what he was instructed to do. Now I have all the more reason to win this case. Ellen, we finished our investigation. We'd like to talk to you about what we found. Okay, so what did you find out? In the course of our investigation, we heard that you had been seen standing in front of the victim with the murder weapon in your hands. It wasn't what it looked like. It's true I was holding the murder weapon. But when I found him, he was already dead. I panicked. And I was hoping I could go back in time again like I had done earlier. So I picked up the timekeeper from the pedestal and brought it over without thinking. You were so desperate you were ready to try anything, huh? Unfortunately, that sort of behavior makes you an easy target for the prosecution. No. And as for your little trip through time, none of your in-laws could confirm your story, I'm afraid. Could confirm or refuse to confirm, or refuse to comment. That's what it seemed like, more like. It's not that they couldn't confirm it, it's that they didn't want to. I see. The only exception is Larry. He said he saw something. Really? What did he see? I can't say I quite believe it myself, but Larry claims he saw something incredible. He claims he saw a pterodactyl flying outside the airship. What? Not only that, but apparently Pierce Nickley told Larry to keep quiet about it. But why would Pierce do such a thing? Larry's theory is that Sprocket Aviation is developing something in secret. A time machine, to be exact. What do you think? Do you think that's why nobody would confirm my story? Because it's a secret?
I really don't know. But speaking of your in-laws, we did manage to find your keycard at Sprocket Manor. One of your in-laws said he'd keep an eye on it for you.
Oh, thank goodness. I lost it when I was getting things ready for the reception. I looked everywhere for it. So glad you found it.
At least they're tears of joy this time for a change.
Well, Nick, looks like you have to prove the existence of time travel in court tomorrow. That's right. I swear that while Mr. Gloomsbury was being killed, I was busy traveling back through time.
Great. With stodgy skeptic Eggsworth at the helm for the prosecution tomorrow, we're really gonna have our work cut out for us. I mean, we spent an entire day in court trying to prove that spirit channeling existed at one time. I'm sure we can prove time travel exists too. Oh. Yeah, this one felt a bit short, but I mean, I'm not expecting another case 5. That could be why it feels short, because we just came off of case 5, even if that was like a month ago.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. I see you're still wearing your wedding gown.
And I will continue to wear it until our marriage is saved. Oh, Soren.
Oh, he showed up.
Do you think he came to see how she's holding up? Soren, my love, you came all the way to the courthouse just to see me. Oh, Soren, I don't know what to say.
Blueprints.
Huh?
The engine blueprints. I can't find them. Do you know where they are?
Oh, they're in your room, 3rd shelf from the bottom on the right-hand side.
Ah, I see. He's leaving already?
Don't tell me he came just to ask about some stupid blueprints. Is he really that cold of a person, or is that just how he comes off, I wonder? What about me, Soren?
Ellen? He's back.
Come home soon. I'm lost without you. Soren! Later. Looks like showing your vulnerabilities is the fastest way to capturing a woman's heart. You should take notes on this, Nick.
Please leave me out of this. Anyway, it looks like Soren isn't big on words, but it's clear that he cares about Ellen. Knowing that, I actually kind of feel relieved. Wait, she has the pan and is cleaning because maid? What? You just made that connection? That was the very first thing that we learned about her. Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, maybe you weren't here for that part. That was pretty early on in the stream.
Mr. Wright, I just absolutely can't be found guilty, you hear?
He definitely cares for her, so he can't be the culprit. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first time that that argument would be incorrect. Don't worry. I'm going to do everything I can to prove your innocence.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
The trial's about to start, sir. Edgeworth. Knowing him, he's not going to yield an inch. So I've just got to fight with everything I've got and save Ellen. So is the reason we can't have Phoenix Wright in a future game because he, like, gets stuck in the past or something? He accidentally time travels during court? Court is now in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Seeing so many familiar faces gathered together like this, I feel as though I'm at a grand reunion. It makes me want to go out for dinner and a drink and reminisce with you all of you.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. I was dying for a real burger the whole time I was away. We could make it a welcome back party for Maya. How about it, Edgeworth?
I have no intention of avorting within my enemies. And now then, Your Honor, let us start this trial at once. Oh, still not one for light-hearted banter, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? Jokes and good humor are beyond worthless in the court of law.
Guess we'll just have to have the party without him then.
However, were it after the conclusion of this trial, I might consider joining you for your little welcome back party. I certainly wouldn't mind an invite at the very least.
He's still as emotionally constipated as ever, I see.
Now then, Miss Edgeworth, if you could please go over the details of this case for us. The victim was Dumas Gloomsbury, a servant in the Sprocket household. He was in attendance at the wedding reception that occurred from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mr. Gloomsbury apparently felt some animosity toward Ellen Wyatt, and so, a bit after the reception ended at 10 p.m., he assaulted Miss Wyatt with the intent to kill her. The defendant fought back and ended up killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
I see.
So in other words, it was justified self-defense, correct? Well, if that's the case, then the defendant might not be criminally responsible.
He's right. Worst case scenario, I could go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. I wonder how Edgeworth plans to counter that, though.
The prosecution's first witness will make my view on the matter clear, Your Honor. Very well. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness.
Damn, I can't be mad at Athena getting the bench if we get Maya behind the bench. The only thing we're missing is fucking Gumshoe. Like, what the hell? The hell happened to him? We know nothing about what happened to him. He just disappeared. We haven't seen him since.
Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Emma Skye, forensic investigator. And I'd just like to say, sir, that being in the same courtroom as you is a great honor. I guess then we wouldn't get to see an Edgeworth and Emma interaction, which I don't know if we really have yet. Oh, that's right. You're a fan of Edgeworth's, aren't you, Emma? We're good friends and all, Mr. Wright. But just this once, I intend to faithfully and fully testify for the prosecution. And I do mean that wholeheartedly.
And I expect no less from you.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do my very best. Looks like you lost the popularity contest to Mr. Edgeworth, Nick.
I could really care less.
I really could care less. Besides, she'll see who's the better lawyer once I win this trial. Yeah, maybe then you'll actually really care less.
Okay, I was like wondering if that was a typo for a second, but no, she brought it around. Now, Detective Skye, if you please.
The murder weapon is a clock called the Timekeeper. The victim was hit with it from behind and he fell over right into the lantern. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. The victim was struck twice, by the way.
He was struck twice?
That's right. There's no mistake about it. The first blow is to the back of the victim's head. It was hard enough to knock him unconscious. Yet, despite the fact that he'd been immobilized by the first blow, the defendant delivered a second fatal blow to the side of the victim's head.
Maybe she didn't realize that he was knocked out, and she just went for a second hit, accidentally killing him? Which means, what exactly? It means that Edgeworth doesn't think it's self-defense. I figured it would go right over your head. Let's put it this way. By striking the victim a second time, the defendant killed her last chance to escape from any criminal wrongdoing.
She did, but how, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defendant may have been fighting back because she was being attacked. However, she then went on to deliver a fatal blow to a man who was already fully unconscious.
Nick, is he saying what I think he is? I don't feel so well.
and thus Mr. Wright has justified self-defense been removed from the table. The prosecution intends to prove that the defendant killed the victim with murderous intent. Allow me to belatedly submit the victim's autopsy report. So that's why he was acting all smug. Well, more smug than usual. It's fine, right? It's not like we were going to plead self-defense anyway, right? Right, but now the judge has a negative impression of Ellen. You can tell by his furrowed brow how mad he is at Ellen. He may not get to prosecute much anymore, but he definitely hasn't lost his touch. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Hold it!
Are you completely sure the murder weapon was the timekeeper? Yes, completely. The shape of the injury on the victim's head matches up with that of the timekeeper, and it's definitely heavy enough to kill someone with. But would the defendant have been able to pick up and swing something so heavy? I tried it myself and I was able to lift it up just fine. Maybe you're just freakishly strong? Excuse me, Mr. Wright? I'll have you know that people on the force know me as the dainty forensic investigator. I can't believe she took that as an insult. Sorry, but really, you're hardly a delicate flower. Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. Save your antics for after the trial if you know how. Yes, sir. Won't happen again, sir. Moving on.
Hold it!
The defendant was fighting back against the victim, right? If so, wouldn't she have hit him from the front and not from behind? The victim must have tried to run once Miss Wyatt started fighting back. That's probably when he got hit from behind. I see. Well, that's the blow to the back of his head. The defendant must have looked awfully scary when she was brandishing that clock. I don't know about that. Regardless of how scary Ellen looked, the victim was definitely hit from behind. May I go on? Yes, of course. Please do. But that's only because she was so panicked when she found the body, that she tried to use the timekeeper to go back in time.
Objection!
Oh, that's so much deeper than I remember. What the fuck? Mr. Wright, do you have any idea how absurd you sound? But Miss Wyatt really believes she could travel through time with that clock. You really should have come up with a more credible story, you know? See, I would love to see the alternate timeline where Edgeworth was in game number 2 and had to prosecute 2-3. That would just be amazing. Like, all that bullshit would not be happening. Edgeworth would have been flabbergasted. Yes, I agree. Me 3, but it's all I've got to go on. Anyway, under the circumstances, the only conclusion we can draw is that the defendant killed the victim. I was under the impression, though, that, you know, considering the whole time travel thing, the assault on the deck didn't happen. So maybe she's not telling the truth then. Maybe she didn't time travel one bit.
Hold it!
Miss Wyatt must have had a chance to escape after she struck the victim the first time. So why would she stick around and hit him with such a heavy object again? Well, about that, allow me to explain. Why did she strike him again indeed? To finish the victim off, of course. This very act clearly shows that she had every intention of killing Mr. Gloomsbury. But Miss Wyatt would never do a thing like that. Then let's see some evidence that disproves my theory. I can't just stand there and take that from him, Nick. Can't refute his claim head on, so I'll have to approach it from a different angle. Well, it looks like we won't be able to be going anywhere until we can refute Edgeworth's claim. It's so exciting. We haven't taken on Mr. Edgeworth in ages. Yeah. Okay, Nick. Now go get him.
Don't need to rush me, Maya. Alright, I better start by comparing Emma's testimony with the evidence we have. And look for any glaring inconsistencies. Alright, so that, to me, hints that number 4 is the correct statement. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found on the back of the head and one on the side. The blows were caused by the same weapon. Okay, so he was struck twice. So which one was first? It's hard to tell which is first or not. Okay, it doesn't let us look at this thing. I was wondering if we could, like, try and look for blood remnants or something. I know a luminol test was positive, but that's all we know. Cerebral hemorrhage from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found in the back of the head and one to the side. Blows are caused by the same weapon. I mean, it's probably the right piece of evidence to present, but now I'm wondering if it's, like, the fourth one or this one. Okay, so the first blow, he was already unconscious, which means the first blow is what would have caused him to fall over, right? But we don't know if the first blow is at the back of the head or the side of the head. This one, I think, brought that up, right? Yeah, it's fighting back against the victim, so would have hit him from the front and not be behind. Yeah, so they talk about the blow to the back of the head, but the side of the head is a new one. Okay, well, I'm wondering if we need to go for the fourth, because this is the one where Edgeworth is like, well, if you need to prove it, if you're so confident. So we need to prove that there was no intent to kill. But proving that there was no intent to kill doesn't really contradict the actual statement in the testimony, so I don't think we need to do that just yet. Or do we? Won't be going anywhere until we can refute Edgeworth's claim. Okay. Victim was struck twice. Yeah, so that's true. I don't think we can refute that statement. Okay, that one's probably also true, so... This one seems like the wrong one that we need to present on. Is it gonna be this? It's probably that. Like, well, there's the bloody wheel here, but I feel like that's not important yet. Okay, there's a lot of blood here. Is this important? I mean, that doesn't look like his hand was stabbed. It just looks like he was maybe holding his head to cover the wound. Victim's body was found collapsed inside one of the peggable lanterns. Scattered around his body were flower petals, a note, and broken parts of the lantern. Petals were from flowers not found inside the reception hall. Right. Why his hand? Well, okay, I'm thinking like he was probably, I mean, I don't know how he got in this mess in the first place, but if someone's getting struck on the head and they're running away after being struck on the head, they're probably going to use their hand to cover the wound. Their giant bleeding head wound. So of course the hand's going to get covered in blood, hence also explaining why there's a bloody wheel. But the blood's only on the inside of the bowl, which means he only touched it with his bloody hand from the inside. So I don't know, maybe he was like struck, shoved in there, hand on head, and then he tried to escape, but then couldn't? And then he just died right after? Because there's no blood on the outside, just the inside. Suspicious third party. Venom was spotted then standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. Okay, there's no mention of the deck yet, right? This is all inside the reception hall. So we don't need the shady third party yet. I'm probably overthinking this. It's probably something as simple as just presenting the autopsy report. I'm surprised the clock wasn't damaged in any way. You're right. That is true. It doesn't look damaged. However, the opening cutscene did make it look like it was a little damaged. Like the propeller hands on the front, they look bent. But I don't know how much stock we want to put into that. Sometimes those cutscenes fudge the facts a little bit for dramatic effect and to keep things a little more mysterious. So confused at the lack of blood in either the lantern or the clock. Yeah, well, okay, so Emma did say that there was a luminol test that returned positive on the clock. So someone probably wiped the blood on that. There is a severe lack of blood inside the lantern. The wheel, the inside wheel, that's the silver one here. We know this is the inside wheel because it's not painted. Does have a lot of blood on it, which would have been from possibly the guy's bloody hand touching it. It's the only thing I can think of at the moment. Makes sense given the circumstances. It's a photo or crime scene bull on statement 2, you think? Fell over right into the lantern. Well, what contradicts the statement here? I mean, if the lantern would have probably been open and he fell over into it, okay. That's fine. And then someone just locked him in there. They closed it up and to hide the body. What would be contradicting then? If he fell into it, where's the blood? I guess? Photo or crime scene bull on 2. Which photo are we talking about here? Oh, this the body photo, right? Well, okay, so she mentions, was it in this one? Which one of these mentioned like something about that? Victim must have tried to run when she started fighting back. It's probably when he got hit from behind. So he got hit from behind, crumpled to the floor, and then got hit from the side to get killed. That makes sense to me. Because he probably would have fallen over on his side, so the side of the head was the most convenient. Yeah, hit from behind, but like killed from the side. I'm guessing he was hit from behind first, and then killed from the side. Venom spotted then standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. You saw in her dazed state a shadowy figure hit Bloomsbury from behind. Okay, yeah, so someone snuck up and hit him. She fainted afterwards and thus didn't get a good look at whoever it was. Okay, well, wait, no, hang on. If she fainted during the confrontation, does that contradict anything here? Well, we know that she was found this way later, so that's true. Couldn't have been time to wipe it if the body was found moments after he died. Yeah, I think we're definitely getting ahead of things here, though. We need to focus on this one. I don't think any of that is relevant for the time being right now. Victim was struck twice, by the way. Yeah, okay, that's a true statement. We're gonna not leave that alone. Victim was hit with it from behind, and he fell over right into the lantern. I don't see how that's necessarily possible if the lantern was closed. But I guess that's possible. Well, okay, the lantern would have had to been knocked over, because, like, look at this mess. That's why there's no blood in here. I mean, he definitely fell over into the lantern. If from behind right into the lantern, that makes sense. Couldn't have been any time. Yeah, wiped the blood. Body was found moments after he died. Still holding the murder weapon. Yeah. Well, okay, when did she?
Hold it!
When did all of it was the timeline here? Okay, this doesn't talk about timeline. That was in the preamble before the actual testimony, so we don't have that dialogue anymore, unfortunately. Victim was hit with it from behind and he fell over right into the lantern. Okay, that's probably true. Why wouldn't that be true? Yeah, everyone's in chat going on and on about how there's a lack of blood, but I don't think that's necessarily true. Like, why does that confirm definitively that this couldn't have happened? I mean, I think what confirms this definitively is that she was attacked out on the balcony. She wasn't attacked inside the reception hall. So why was a bull who was supposed to be in the reception hall doing out on the balcony? But that might be jumping through too many hoops at once here. Yeah, I just don't see, like, why the lack of blood is relevant here. That's the part that's, like, eluding me, because, like, okay, there's no blood in here. I mean, all he did is fall over. There's no blood on the victim either. So, if there was more blood on the victim besides a hand, which is probably covering a head wound, but, like, we don't even see the head wound. There's no blood, period. The petals are from flowers not in the reception hall. Is there anything here saying the reception hall? Do we know where she found the body? Like, I thought it was in the reception hall, but maybe that was an assumption.
Objection!
And then he just goes on and on about time travel, so that's not very helpful right now. There should have been blood from the head wound. Well, yeah, I mean, there should have been blood from the head wound, but maybe it is this one, because the lack of blood from the head wound would argue against the idea that he was struck twice, one to like knock unconscious and then one to kill. Because in knocking someone unconscious, they're probably not going to bleed. So this looks like a guy who was only knocked unconscious, not killed by blunt object to head. Victim was struck twice. Like, does this look like a guy who was struck twice? If he fell over into here, how was he struck twice? Like, it seems a little inconvenient to strike someone again. I didn't forget anything. I've always questioned this game's, the more recent games' logic, because a lot of the time I feel like the game is forgetting things. Like, why? Okay, there's no blood here. Why would a lack of blood be important here? Like, it's making up things. It's making up facts. I have to make up facts to do it, and that's not how the old games worked. He fell unconscious, then how did she get the second hit in? Yeah, like if he fell unconscious into the thing, then how did she get the second hit in, right? Because like it's in the way. Okay, I'm gonna present this here.
Objection!
No, okay. Because I like that idea. Like, how did she get the second hit in if she can't even reach him? That's the only reason I would have like gone with on this. No Blakos, are we sure he was killed in there? Well, we don't know for sure. But, like, why would we present that? We're supposed to find the statements that are incorrect based on evidence, not statements that we may or may not be correct. There's no definitive, like, we can't prove anything one way or the other, so, like, why would we present it? That's the part I'm a little, like, concerned about here. I miss when the game was, like, definitive logic, even if sometimes that logic made zero sense. Not just like, well, maybe this couldn't have happened. Like, what? That's bullshit. That means anything could be presented and argued that way. Okay, which one are we trying for here? Because I'm ready to call it stupid, whatever it is, if it works. Victim was hit from behind and fell over right into the lantern. Wait, no. Hang on. This is it. If he fell over into the lantern from being hit with behind, that doesn't make any fucking sense. There we go. That logic makes sense, and that's the logic I'm going with. He was pushed over into the lantern because he fell back first. He fell face up into the lantern. How could he have been hit from behind into the lantern if his body was facing up? Please explain how someone could do that, because that to me doesn't make sense, and that right there is a definitive contradiction. I like that one. Detective Sky, I'm afraid I have to apologize in advance. I don't know why it took me so long to realize that. That's on me. For what? For embarrassing you in front of your idol. What do you mean? If you take a look at this photo of the crime scene, you'll see that the victim is lying on his back. Ah, see, I knew it! Good. Alright, nothing about blood or any bullshit like that, any, willy-nilly, well, this could have happened. No. Straight up physics. But if the victim had been hit from behind as you claimed, then he should have fallen over into the lantern face down. It's not enough to simply take someone's side, Detective Sky, even if it's Mr. Edgeworth's. There does appear to be a flaw in Detective Sky's testimony. Mr. Wright, if you think I'm going to just back down right now, then you're sadly mistaken. Emma is usually fired up today. Don't forget, she's in front of her hero, Nick. To steal sound when I came to watch this trial, I'd want to do my absolute best, too. Listen, Mr. Wright. It's entirely possible that the defendant moved the victim's body after he fell over. In that case, there wouldn't be any contradiction, right? Well, then why didn't you say that earlier, Indeed, that was an excellent counter-argument, Detective. You can count on me, sir. So what do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright? Is it possible the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern? I mean, yeah, why wouldn't it be? It's not like he was stuck there. Defense believes it is possible that the victim's body was moved by the defendant. What are you doing, Nick? You're backing up Emma's claim? mean, it would be the first time. Is there a problem with that? Like, we agree with the prosecution all the time, and now suddenly that's a problem. Oh, okay. Sure. Fine. Oh, yeah, that's true. It couldn't have been possible because, yeah, if it was found right after the fact, that's right. No, you're right. I forgot. Yeah, and I forgot. You literally brought it up, and I literally forgot. So how's that? I was playing in the moment like I usually do. Sorry, detective, but there's no way the victim's body was moved after his death. Oh, really? And what makes you so sure? One look at this here and it should become obvious. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to, like, present her statement or something. I mean, prove that the victim's body has not been moved. Oh, well, the pedals being on top of him? I mean, I guess those wouldn't really, like, all the debris on top of him? I mean, that wouldn't really, yeah, you wouldn't put this debris on top of him. I mean, maybe, that'd be pretty weird, but I don't know, let's try the pedal. No? It's not because there's a bunch of shit on top of him? I mean, yeah, the killer could have totally put that on to make it, to trick everyone, but I was under the impression we were going to present evidence saying that, like, she found the body. But I guess we don't know exactly when she found the body. Yeah, we all say it was right after, but what does that mean? Where are the weird petals? They're from flowers that were not in the reception hall. Where is that? Was it this? No. I guess it was the autopsy report, right? No, it wasn't the autopsy report. Sorry, it was the photo itself. Petals are from flowers not found inside the reception hall. And we can corroborate that with this photo. You can see the flowers here. This is not in the reception hall. This is in wherever it is. In the hold. So we know the flowers weren't from there. But I was thinking, like, it couldn't be moved because there's, like, debris on top of him. Looks here, it should become obvious. Is it the note? Proves the victim's body had not been moved. I mean, the lantern itself is knocked over and kind of fucked up. Why was it knocked over in the first place? Is it the blood? I mean, you can move dead bodies. That doesn't... had not been moved. I mean, if anything, as everyone else is going on about in chat, this is a proof that he was moved. I don't know. This is not where I expected this line of thinking to go, so I'm not really sure what we want here. The light bulb? Why would it be the light bulb? Like, I feel like the wood would make more sense, but maybe I just, like, misclicked? I can't tell. Why would it be the light bulb? No, okay, yeah, I didn't think so. I was, like, sitting there thinking, like, why would this be it? What insane logic could we possibly jump to that where a light bulb would be it? Is it because this is already knocked over? Maybe? No, okay. I don't know, maybe his body was too heavy, so the only way she could possibly move it is if the Trojan bowl thing was upright. It's not broken. I mean, the side's pretty broken. But, I mean, yeah, like, I guess if you lifted it back up, I don't know how heavy those things are. The fuck is it looking for here? It's probably gonna be something as obvious as, like, this guy was shoved
face first and not smashed on the back of the head, kind of thing. Maybe it is the wood. Okay, I was right. It's just the flower does... You can't click on the flower for the exact same logic. You have to click on the wood. And I ruled it out because I thought, okay, well, I mean, I clicked on the flower. I should have clicked on the more obvious giant piece of wood. But I thought the flower would count too, because it's also on top of him. Those broken bits of the lantern? Yes, if the body had been moved after the fact, those fragments would have fallen off of it. So would the flower petal! But as you can clearly see, they're lying perfectly undisturbed on top of the body. This means that the victim must have been lying face up from before the lantern even broke. You're right. But wait a minute, if that's true, then when was the victim killed? I mean, the lantern was still whole during the reception, right? Right, which means we've just overturned a major assumption about this case. If the victim was already dead before the lantern was even broken, then the body must have been inside the lantern since before the reception started. What if this is the guy from the other timeline? What if he was killed by his alternate timeline self? In other words, the defense asserts that the victim was killed before the wedding reception. What if he was killed before the second wedding reception, but after the first? In short, when Miss Wyatt was seen standing in front of the body after the reception, it wasn't the moment just after the murder was committed. It was the moment she happened to discover the body, just as Miss Wyatt claims.
Objection!
See, exactly. We can't prove it was right after the murder. We have no clear-cut timeline for the murder. 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's 3 hours. And her statement is like... okay, well, where's her statement? It was like in here? Bells are from... Okay, nope, that doesn't say. I thought there was like we had her statement or something. Was it on this? No. Whether the act was committed before or after the reception is entirely inconsequential. After all, it was the defendant who prepared the reception hall for the event in question. Therefore, when the murder occurred, changes nothing with regard to her guilt. She could have killed the victim before the reception, as you claim, and then tried to hide his body in the lantern after the event ended.
Objection!
Sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where would the body have been hidden during the reception in your scenario? It would be hidden inside the bowl. But that wouldn't explain how it got smashed through the way it did. That's... Even you have to admit, Mr. Edgeworth, that this has opened up a new possibility. To explain, Mr. Wright. Well, if Miss Wyatt didn't commit the crime in the reception hall, then that means someone, somewhere, put the victim's body into the lantern. I suppose that makes sense. A dead body couldn't have put itself in there. Exactly, Your Honor. In other words, if the murder actually occurred before the reception, it opens up the possibility that... all of the above? Well, I mean, maybe not this one, because we kind of aren't sure. It's still quite possible that it was the murder weapon. He was definitely killed somewhere else. I mean, there's always the possibility that the defendant didn't do it. That's kind of the reason we're here. So I'm going to go with this one. If the body was hidden inside the lantern, then it's possible that the body was moved along with it from somewhere else. Oh, you're right. You can run that mouth of yours all you want. Do you have any evidence to support what's coming out of it, Mr. Wright? Of course I do. I think the answer lies in that piece of evidence, and in something that was left at the crime scene that will point us to where the victim was really killed. Very well, Mr. Wright. In that case, what proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? The picture?
Take that!
Yeah. No? Okay. Never mind. I mean, I was thinking like the flowers in there and the fact that they're in the picture. Are we gonna like bring up the fact that there's two horned cows and not one that doesn't have horns? Oh, yeah, if he wants to know where? Okay, yeah. I guess I misunderstood him. Okay, what proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? No. He wants to know what proves they were moved, not where they were moved from. I mean, the fact they have wheels? Maybe? What proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? Well, they weren't here during the reception. Maybe that's it? Yeah, okay, wait, hang on a second. Do we have... So, we know that they're supposed to be here. After ceremony to visit Dex Rocket Aviation's majestic Pega Moo mascots will light up the happy couple from both sides of the Sweetheart Table. After. So, this would prove that it was from somewhere else. No? Okay. Look at the dead body pic for a sec? Okay. This one? Oh, are we gonna use the flowers from here now? Wait, didn't I present this though? Oh no, I presented the other picture. Okay. I feel like at least two of those three things I presented should have been valid. I think the first one should have also been valid for the same reason I bet you this one's gonna be valid. And it's because of the flowers. The photo of the victim again? Yes. I'd like the court to focus on this thing right here. Oh my god, yeah, okay. Flower petals, Mr. Wright. Yeah, really zoom in on them. Really emphasize those petals. These petals are from a kind of flower that were not present in the reception hall. This means they must have gone into the lantern when it was somewhere else. And just where do you propose this somewhere else to be, Mr. Wright? Oh, now you want to know. I propose that this piece of evidence will tell us where the flower petals came from. Please take a look at the flowers in this picture of the hold. Notice how their petals are of the same shape as the petals in the crime scene photo? Yes, I see. They do look to be from the same kind of flower. Is that really all you've got? A flower is a flower is a flower. They're all the same. I would hardly call what you presented compelling evidence. I'm afraid I could disagree with you more, Miss Edgeworth. I gave a flower this type to my lovely wife once when we were young. And so I can assure you that this is very meaningful and compelling evidence indeed. The soundness of my judgment in this matter is backed by nothing less than pure love. But, Your Honor... Let it go, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear you don't know much about flowers. It's not like you have anyone you'd actually give any to, after all. Wow! But maybe you should study up on them, just in case the opportunity presents itself. Holy shit! This from the man who only knows the names of 3 types of flowers. That's hardly relevant to the case at hand. The defense asserts that it's highly probable that the victim was killed in the hold, if the body was then placed in the lantern and moved to the reception hall for some reason. It would completely destroy the prosecution's case. Then you mean the body was... Yes, the victim's body was... inside the lantern during the entire beautiful wedding reception. While the defendant and her betrothed were celebrating their love. What? You researched flower types for a fanfic you're writing? What kind of fanfic needed flowers? Actually, you know what? Probably a lot of them did. Flowers aren't like the most uncommon element in a story after all. Your smooth talk might work on his honor, but it won't work on me. Smooth talk, it felt more like he was insulting him. What are you talking about now? Take another look at all of the evidence and you'll soon see what I mean. I wish you would just tell me already. Detective Sky, I'm sure you've already figured out what I'm talking about, correct? Of course, sir. Mr. Wright is the only one here who hasn't. Why don't you leave this to me, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well. Let's see what you can do. Detective Sky, please give your testimony to this court. The victim could not have been killed before the reception. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception. And that estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong. But what if it was from a different timeline? What if it was 10 p.m. from timeline 1? And we're on timeline 2. And the body was transported through time. It's clear Mr. Gloomsbury was killed after the reception. And that completely contradicts your claim. I guess so. Tell me you took at least a cursory glance at the autopsy report, Mr. Wright. It appears you've grown rusty since our last outing. Might I suggest you go back and brush up on the basics? Sure. Though I must say you're as cocky as ever, Mr. Edgeworth. I beg your pardon? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? I'm just saying that I'll go back to basics if that's what Mr. Edgeworth wants. I'll prove how badly he's underestimated me with a good old-fashioned cross-examination. Very well, let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Wright. Were you the one saying time travel is impossible? I was the one saying it tongue-in-cheek, just like I'm saying this now. You know, I'm presenting all these ideas, but it's what we call being snarky. A little sarcasm. Of course I don't think time travel is possible. This is the same world as spirit channeling and levitating capes that break the laws of physics. Why would time travel be possible? Ridiculous. Absolutely no way it could be possible. You sound pretty certain. You must have some solid grounds for making that claim, right? Of course I do. And you're gonna feel silly when I show you what they are. Ready? Feast your eyes on this. What, the updated autopsy report?
Hold it!
I read the autopsy report too, you know. Then you don't need me to explain it to you, right? How there's no way the victim could have been killed before the reception, I mean. Detective Sky, I think you've overlooked something big. I have? Why don't you take another look at the evidence? But I've already looked at all the evidence, and quite carefully too, I'll have you know. Detective Sky, do not be taken in by his verbal antics. He's simply bluffing, as always. Right, sir. Alright, so we have to prove the time of death wrong, is that it? Is it possible that the culprit did something to obscure the real time of death? No, not in this case. There was no snow or anything to keep the body from decomposing. And there's no fridge on that airship big enough to fit a body into. So you've already checked into that, I see. Well, it comes down to the estimated time of death, doesn't it? Couldn't the killer mess with the victim's time of death by keeping the body on ice? Yeah, if they had the means to. Prosecution is treating the estimated time of death as an absolute. Was it really? I take it you don't think it is, huh, Nick? In that case, we're going to have to find a way to convince them otherwise. Yeah, there's got to be a way somehow. I think we might know a way. Seems a little flimsy, because if it was enough to keep the body that cold, then I think the rest of the reception hall would be having problems. Dry ice is no laughing matter. You do not play around with that stuff.
Objection!
No? Okay. Oh, we have the actual machine. Never mind. I forgot we had the machine to give. In my defense, so I feel like this should also count. I mean, it's really right there in the picture. It really should count.
But in actuality, if you have enough dry ice in this scenario to like somehow keep a body on ice, the rest of the room is going to suffer. Big time. The rest of the audience is not surviving if you have that much dry ice. Somehow make it drop the temperature that much with that much dry ice. Where's the machine? There it is.
Objection!
I admit that the estimated time of death does contradict my theory. Finally, and that means your theory that the victim was killed before the reception is still entirely plausible. Huh? What makes you think that? The killer could have falsified the time of death by using a certain item in the reception hall. Please take a look at this. And what is that contraption, Mr. Wright? It's a fog machine, Your Honor, used to create a special romantic atmosphere in the hall. And this machine could have been used to falsify the time of death? Yes, Your Honor, because this machine uses dry ice to perform its magic. Dry ice? Ah, yes, the super cold stuff commonly used to make the theatrical fog, right? I see. So your claim is that this dry ice was used to keep the body cold? Oh. In that case, I guess the victim could have been killed before the reception. Oh wait, is the reason this machine doesn't have dry ice in it is because someone stole it and just stuffed it into the lantern? Just a big block of dry ice sitting in the lantern the whole time? That would make more sense than somehow, like, using the fog to keep the body cold, which is what I was originally thinking. Order! Order in this court! Well, Miss Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this development? That the victim was killed in the hold before the wedding reception? The prosecution acknowledges the possibility of this claim. Now we're getting somewhere. The prosecution would also like to thank you, Mr. Wright. Huh? For what? I didn't know how a certain piece of evidence fit into this case, but now thanks to you, I do. What piece of evidence? To get into the hold, one needs a keycard like this one. Thanks for the list. Pierce Nickerty. Alright, Pierce, get up here. We got some questions. And here we have a record of those who entered the hold with such keycards. The times aren't specified, but these are the last 3 entries on the day of the murder. And as you can see, the last person to enter the hold that day was the defendant. I feel like we've done this before. You know, if I had a nickel for every time the head prosecutor asked me about keycard usage and handed me a list of people who've used keycards, I'd have 2 nickels. So the one who moved the body out of the hold must have been... That's right. It was none other than the defendant. Hey, Nick, take a look at this entry record. There are a couple of other names on here besides Ellen's. Hey, you're right. According to the entry record, Mr. Edgeworth, Pierce Nickerty had also gone into the hold. Isn't it possible that he could have been the culprit? Sorry, but Mr. Nickerty was escorting a few of the guests at the time. I'm sure they would be happy to testify that fact if you'd like. Think me cocky all you like, Mr. Wright, but my confidence is rarely misplaced. Now then, it's probably safe to assume that after killing the victim in the hold, the defendant moved his body to the hall in order to dispose of it discreetly. What do you mean by discreetly? The defendant volunteered to take care of the reception's cleanup personally. That means she would have had the chance to dispose of anything in any way she wanted, including taking the lantern off the airship without raising any suspicion. Don't tell me you didn't know about Miss Wyatt volunteering for cleanup duty, Mr. Wright. For my last task as servant of the Sprocket household, I offered to take on the preparation and cleanup of the reception banquet. I see. Look at you, sweating buckets like a rookie, even after all these years. Nevertheless, thank you for proving that the only person who could have killed the victim in the hold is... Ellen Wyatt. Now when can I present evidence here? Because... We can disprove this, like, instantly. Great job, Phoenix. Now we're back to square one. Perhaps you should ask Miss Sykes for some help in reviewing Defense for Dummies. Way to go, sir. You've got Mr. Wright in a cold sweat. I wonder if maybe the promise of seeing that miserable look on his face is what brought me back to court today. It certainly made all of my stress and woes as chief prosecutor just melt away. I guess he had a lot of stress built up. I'll give him something to stress over before we're through today. Your Honor, the prosecution asks that you render your verdict at this time. Before that man over there tries to throw the court into chaos with his meaningless bluffs. I see. Mr. Wright, are there any last meaningful bluffs you'd like to present to this court? Why does he have to assume it'll be a bluff? Nick, hurry up and throw a good one out there. I will. Well, alright then. Let's see. I've got it. How do you know it was Miss Wyatt who used her keycard? After all, if it turns out that somebody else used her keycard, it would mean Miss Wyatt didn't do it. Interesting. And you're able to prove this bluff to be true? I assure you I'm not bluffing, Your Honor. Well, now what? Wait a minute, Nick. I can think of a certain somebody who might have used Ellen's keycard. You can? Remember? The one who was sneaking around the hold, in spite of not being the family member? Oh, that's right. Your Honor, the defense would like to call a certain witness to the stand. I need the testimony of this person, who may have entered the hold with Miss Wyatt's card. Oh, boy. That's your witness? Are you saying that numbskull was on the airship? He never breathed a word about that to me. That's not surprising, because Mr. Nickety told him to keep quiet about it. But Mr. Butts himself admitted it to me. He claimed to have found a way to sneak into the Flying Chapel's hold to see Miss Wyatt. Is Larry gonna get accused? God, that would be so fucking funny if Larry was accused again. What if he was actually guilty this time? And he really was the culprit. And this is just the last case. This isn't a send-off for Phoenix, right? This is actually, it turns out it's a send-off for Larry Butts. We have to accuse Larry as being the criminal and prove that it's true. This photo he took and gave to me is proof. Then was it he who removed the lantern with the body inside the reception hall? You know as well as I that with him, anything is possible. And this is one possibility we should definitely look into. I can't believe this. What in the world is he doing mixed up in this? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what we've been saying since elementary school? When something smells, it's usually the butts. Exactly. Got it. That Larry, you'll pay for this. Well, if you want to extract your payment now, he's right up there in the gallery. Yikes! Bailiff, seize the witness before he makes a run for it. No, why is this stuff always happening to me? Sorry, Larry, but you brought this on yourself. Let us break for 15-minute recess. I ask that both sides prepare for the next witness's testimony during that time. I would be so happy if Larry got accused. After all this he almost deserves it. All of his fooling around gets him into this mess. It's been a while since I've had this much fun and excitement. Face off against Mr. Edgeworth, a harrowing tightrope walk for the defense. Phew, I'm exhausted already. I'm here for moral support. Athena, are you all done practicing for Trucy's magic show? Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away. That's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you. I see. I think I'll need to have a one-on-one with her. You're really athletic and fit, Athena, so Trucy probably thinks she can run you ragged. That may be true. Which is why not even Trucy can keep up with me when I run at full speed. Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena. Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician. Yes, please keep her out of the courtroom. This is Phoenix and Maya's private time. Magical girl Trucy Wright is on the scene. No. Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic. Go on, douse yourself with this gasoline. Whoa! Okay, let's not. But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe.
That's fake gasoline, then, is what you're saying? Because that's nothing safe about that. Ignition or otherwise. Hey, you. You're not getting off that easily. Yeah, they get along so well, don't they? It reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearly. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe. Can't forget him. I don't know. Seems like we certainly can forget him. We had all kinds of fun at the crime scenes back then, remember? Leaving me to do all the serious investigating, as I recall. Court will be back in session, Mr. Wright. Right, thank you. So Larry's the next witness, right? Can't wait to see what happens. Sadly, I can already imagine it. I would have minded, like, a case with Phoenix and Trucy working together or something. I feel like Trucy's the one that's been getting shafted lately. You know, Athena's had more than enough screen time. She's had a very good presence over the last couple games. But Trucy just, like, kind of exists. Maybe. Court will now be convened. Nick, Edgy! Two, you're gonna hang me out to dry, aren't you? No, not the both of us, just Mr. Wright. Nick, how could you? I don't really think he did it, of course, but I've got to use whatever leads I can. Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had the dead body in it. So, if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify. Now then, your testimony, please, witness. Yeah, Trucy ended up being more of a plot device. I liked her in, she was a good foil for Apollo. I was kind of hoping that would continue. I mean, Apollo and Athena were great too, but I liked having her around in Game 4. Nick, you big fat stinking jerk. How could you doubt your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school. Well, get this, pal. Our friendship's over. Damn! Just like that, hey? Right in court in front of everyone. Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. He's all yours. Why me? You're the one who called him to the stand, so he's your responsibility. Thanks, old chum. Can't any of you show me a little respect, even just a shred? You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright. I would if there was any testimony to cross-examine. Alright, do we have to prove that their friendship is not over? Is that the presentation here? Can't believe this is the testimony.
Hold it!
Come on, Larry. Can't you please give me something real to work with? Don't think I don't know about your tricks. If I say something careless, you're gonna shove some evidence at me with a loud objection and a super smug look on your face. Yeah, well, that is my job. If I get found guilty, how are you gonna take responsibility for what you've done? Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job? You heartless jerk. Don't you have any compassion for me?
Hold it!
I'm sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Miss Wyatt that entered the hold with that card, then you're the most likely suspect. Nick, are you seriously doubting the innocence of your old childhood friend? Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you. Oh, a true friend would believe in me no matter what. Can't you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you? Nick! Nick! You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you? Okay, fine. In that case...
Hold it!
Larry, listen to me. Shut up! I'm not talking to you anymore. Wow, he actually went silent. This is getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry. If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Miss Wyatt will be found guilty. For real? No new information comes out of this cross-examination, then yes, Mr. Butts, for real. Not that I would have a problem with that myself. Larry, just tell us the truth already. Did you or didn't you go into the hold and move a lantern up to the reception hall? I never moved any bull lantern, I tell you. Bull lantern? What? Did I say something weird? You told me that you didn't attend the wedding reception. Can you believe they only told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall. Yeah, so what? Then that's odd. No one in this courtroom ever mentioned the sex of the lantern that was moved. So, how could you know that was a bull lantern? You didn't have to actually go to the reception hall to know that. Anyone could have tell there were two Pegabulls by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet. All I can tell right now is that there's a strong sense of bull in the air here. Please add that last statement to your testimony, Mr. Butts. Finally, something useful.
Hold it!
Seriously, Larry? If you're hiding something, you'd better fess up now. I'm telling you, I don't know nothing. Why you have to doubt me so much? Why? Because you're you, that's why. Edgy, you think Nick's being awful to me, don't you? So you tell him. Tell Nick what a big meanie he is. I would, if I thought he was being one. Not you too. Why doesn't anybody ever take my side? I wish I didn't have to doubt him. But something about what he just said doesn't add up. You finally got a decent statement out of him, huh, Nick? Yeah, finally. Sure took a lot of work, though. I hope all of this leads somewhere. Alright. Yeah, one look
Objection!
will tell you that you're wrong. I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a peg of cow and a peg of bull in the example diagram of the reception hall. Huh? But on that day, instead of putting a peg of cow and a peg of bull out for the bride and groom, there were two male Pegabulls on display. Yet somehow you knew there were two Pegabulls in the reception hall that day. There's only one way you'd know something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the Pegabull to the reception hall, wasn't it? No. Larry, you didn't. Mr. Butts, did you move the lantern containing the victim's body to the reception hall? That's what it looks like. What? So he admits it. He's not even trying to deny at this point. Wait, Nick. You don't think I'm the murderer, do you? Maybe you and Mr. Gloomsbury were fighting over Miss Wyatt and you ended up killing him? Hey, she said it, not me. But Maya, not you too. Look, I did sneak into the reception, but that's as far as it went. You know me, I wouldn't hurt a fly. You snuck into the reception? Yeah, sure, but some of the Sprocket men caught me and locked me up in one of the cabins. It was pretty awful, actually. That's when I made that drawing of the pterodactyl I showed you, Nick. Stay on the aerodactyl tape, Larry. Mr. Wright, not even you would take this farce that far, would you? We are talking about Larry. What do I do? Pamphlet is such a weird word. What makes it weird? Well, I guess if he was locked up, I don't really know how he could be, but... I don't know, he was down in the hold. We're not actually doing this, are we? Yeah, I mean, there's no way he knew the body was there. This is no different than every other time he's accidentally got himself involved in a case. It's always something accidental and stupid, and yet somehow the most important aspect of the case. Honestly, I have more trust in Larry being innocent than I do with our fucking client right now. No, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Butts didn't have the reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. I should have accused him, shouldn't have I? For, like, I don't know, funny ending reasons or something, right? That was probably an achievement, wasn't it? He might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure, but not Mr. Gloomsbury. I kind of should have done that. Fuck. I should have saved and done it. Actually, where's the autosave? It's back at the cross-examination. Do we go back and accuse him? Is that gonna... Do we know if that's, like, anything significant and worth going back for? I kind of want to accuse him. I don't know how far back this is going to go, but I mean, if it's at the cross-examination, it probably went to... Yeah, it's like 2 minutes back? Okay. Well, we can speedrun those 2 minutes because we're not reading anything. I need to do this. I have to see what this looks like. Oh, it's right here. It's actually right at the decision. Perfect. Yes! We're doing it. I guess I have no choice but to accuse him. Wait a minute. But Larry didn't have any reason to kill Gloomsbury. Oh, come on. Don't just change your mind automatically. I want to see this. If they make another game, we need more false ends. Like, they need to follow through with some of these dumb decisions. Especially once they're this obviously incorrect and silly. I want us to see this. This is disappointing. It was literally nothing. It was like one different line. That sucks. After all, he did try to steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and try to elope with her. It's because I tried to steal somebody's bride doesn't make me a murderer. I believe you, Larry, and I don't think you killed anybody either. You would never do anything like that. Nick, old buddy, old pal. Hey, I thought we weren't friends. I knew you'd come through for me. Funny that, considering your sworn testimony just now that we were through. Wait, yeah, hang on. He did that under oath. He said that they're no longer friends, and then yet he backtracks and say that they're friends. Does that count as perjury? Can we call him out for that? Mr. Butts, it's time you told this court the whole truth, understood? Oh my god, if this is actually leading up to him being the murderer. No, it's not. I'm not even gonna... There's no way they would do that. Just like Nick said, I'm the one who moved the lantern. But why did you move the lantern? You swapped the lanterns. Were you told to do this? Did someone mistake you for like a maid or butler or something? I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken. And there was a note on it that said, exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor. So you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? And that means the victim really was killed before the reception. Did they not have like an extra female cow lantern around? They only had another male cow? Or did Larry just not pay attention? It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defendant's scheme. Scheme? What scheme? This note from the defendant exchanged with the one in the hold, Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note. And thus has he become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. That second lantern did feel pretty heavy, but I never would have thought there was a dead body in it. What was a note like that doing on a lantern in the first place? Arrest Larry for perjury, yeah. What about our note? What, the one that was found near the body? About, like, how to attack Ellen and all that? You got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
Don't say that, because now people can use that to say this was your note.
even though the handwriting wasn't yours. What a sorry excuse, Miss Wyatt. The prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murderous plan. And you, Mr. Butts, you played right into Miss Wyatt's hands. No way, Edgy. I don't believe it. Do you still really believe Miss Wyatt to be the culprit, Miss Edgeworth? Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination. Gladly. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Why didn't you tell us that sooner? Because I knew you guys were gonna be suspicious of me, that's why. We were gonna be suspicious of you either way, my man. We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it. My thoughts exactly. Well, now I've told you. Happy? So how about let me go? No, not yet. We need you to stick around and sort a few things out. Ugh, fine. The lantern you swapped out was a female Pegamoo. Pega cow, right? Yeah, I guess. Why did you replace a female lantern with a male one? Because I was too busy trying not to get caught. I didn't have time to check for little details like that. If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left well enough alone, you know. Whatever. Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw... I know it wasn't addressed to you, was it? Well, I guess not, but how could I let my dear sweet Ellie do all that hard physical labor on her own? It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you into trouble, Larry. Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her. Like sneaking around a wedding you weren't supposed to be at and helping her do her job, okay. Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns? Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time anyway. Not that time? Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time. I didn't have as much luck. Those sprocket guys spotted me and nabbed me. That's such a me thing to do, trying to do something nice for someone else and not trying to be caught. Well, yeah, but I mean, you don't go trespassing into places you aren't legally allowed to be, right? I think there's a big difference between, you know, it's nice to do things secretly for a surprise. I do that all the time, too. But I don't do things that would be illegal. I don't go places I'm not supposed to go. I know when to leave well enough alone. I don't go into somebody else's wedding and secretly try and help them set up when I'm not supposed to be there. This guy shouldn't have been doing that. All of my words are failing me right now. Pretty exciting, don't you think? Larry, you need help. And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, why are you asking about stuff like this for anyway? Should you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence? Well, is that statement of his important to the case? Mr. Butt's trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Butts, please add that statement to your testimony. So you got locked up. Then what happened? I broke out. Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss Wyatt. But hold on a minute. What is it, Nick? Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry's saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. That's right. Oh, wait, huh? You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it? Wait, how did they lock him up inside a cabin? Wouldn't the locks be accessible from the inside of the cabin? How do you lock someone up inside a room?
Like a normal room. Like, say someone tried to lock you up in your bedroom. How could they do that? You would be able to just unlock it, because you're inside the room where the side with the lock is. Like this, it's not like they put him in a jail cell, which wouldn't have access to the lock from the inside. They put him in a normal cabin. How do you lock someone up in a place like that? Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness's statement? Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this. Was it the fact that this lantern was broken with the... No, that's a different lantern, right? So it wouldn't be that one. It would be this, right? Because he took a photo of this. This was all before it. There's the other lantern and everything. Well, no, this is before the lantern's even... And in what sense does that piece of evidence contradict with the statement? Oh. I thought this was it because it shows everything being set up, and, like, why would he have gone to the hold before he was locked up if he was, like, locked up before moving everything? Okay, so we need something for this. Tried to sneak into the reception hall but got caught and locked up in a cabin. So I think that's probably important, right? Okay, Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this. Larry wheeled it from the hold to the reception hall before the reception began. This one, right? Is that... Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. What? Why not? You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place. That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Hey, Mr. Butts, did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception? Which was it? Before or after? There's a whole world of difference between the two. Yeah, one's separated by a certain thing called time. Well, Mr. Butts? I guess I can't expect you guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it's both before and after the reception. What, they have a microwave in the room? What? I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. The first reception? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So it's both before the reception and after the reception. Get it? We went back in time to before the reception. So of course the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why I wanted to say that's why what I said makes perfect sense. Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I saw him last? I mean, that would be the more straightforward answer, wouldn't it? Well... None of the Sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made that miracle happen. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand? So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing? Go on, Nick. I know you can do it. Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick. Oh, to heck with it. Can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway. The defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt, has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that, as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began. It's what? I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen and Wyatt and Larry Butts experienced time travel. What? You know, I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong about the whole double reception thing, because I almost feel disappointed that I figured it out so quickly, even if it was like half joking. What absolute rubbish. Mr. Wright, I heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years, but this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind? But this is simply the conclusion I came to, using that logic ability you love so much. What? The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So, what if a time machine has already been successfully created? And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions? A time machine? Yeah, even I saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. And maybe the airship was sent to travel through time for their honeymoon trip. What? A pterodactyl? You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story. Well, as I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. Not so fast now, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know. Okay, you got evidence for that one, buddy? Oh? You want evidence? I've got your evidence right here. This is a photo I secretly took of the first reception. And you can prove it's the first reception how? Larry, I can't believe you. Well, anyway, good job. If we compare the photos of the first and second receptions and can find a difference, then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice. But do you really think such a difference exists? Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you. This is preposterous. Very well, please show the court what's different then. Alright. This is proof the wedding reception was held twice. Her bouquet's different. No? We can still look at the other picture, right? Yeah. Is that it? Is that really the difference? Yellow versus red? Please direct your attention to Miss Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo, one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she's holding a red bouquet. You're right. That's impossible. What does this mean? It means the defendant really did experience two wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time. What? Man, Phoenix is gonna look so stupid when it turns out it wasn't actually time travel. He's so confident now. All because of that picture. Nick, you did it. You proved Ellen's time travel story to be true. Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said, reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we've based this trial on upside down. It turns like all of reality upside down at this point. I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There's simply no such thing as time travel. Oh, but spirit channeling, that's totally real. That's proven reality there. That's not pseudoscience. I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth? I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? Can totally picture you yelling, "That never happened," every 5 seconds at the screen. I'm telling you, 2-3 would be a very different case if Edgeworth was involved. Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether. That's neither here nor there. This is real life we're talking about. I don't know, he had a couple questions about the movie stuff during investigations too. But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how Fine, I'll entertain your absurd delusion, if only to demolish it before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this then, shall we? There is one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. And that is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remembered the reception occurring twice, but no one member of the Sprocket family has ever even mentioned such a thing. That's because the time machine is classified to... I'm not done, you bird brain. Bird brain? As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why hadn't they sworn the woman who was married into the family to secrecy too? Well, she wasn't married yet. They had no license. That's a good point. Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? And there is proof in the photos that it did, and besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth. You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible. I don't know, there's this guy called H.G. Wells, he seemed to believe in it. Maybe your argument is just a little too nonsensical, Nick. Well, in that case, I also heard you can do some really good time travel with a microwave if you're smart enough. Why don't we put common sense to the test? Excuse me? Well, the wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation? Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright? Time travel doesn't exist, and there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon, and that somebody is... the gods? Okay. I need to pick that one. I'm gonna be disappointed again. There's no way we're gonna elaborate on this to any degree, just like accusing Larry of murder. But I kind of need to pick this. Which gods are we accusing this time? Are we gonna have to cross-examine another god? I'm picking it. I have to pick it. Such a mysterious phenomenon could only have been caused by the gods themselves. What reference are you going with at the microwave time traveling one? Go play Steins Gate. It'll make sense. That's a great visual novel. I would not stream it though, because it's just reading. It would be like 120% reading, but it's great. You should go play it. The original, not the remake. Don't play the remake. I suppose the gods would be able to rewind time, or make the wedding reception happen twice, wouldn't they? Indeed they would, Your Honor. In that case, Mr. Wright, please bring the gods here to testify before this court. Yes, will do, Your Honor. I'll go get him right now. Maya, do you think you could... Not a chance. On behalf of the gods who can't be here today, please have some divine punishment. What if she did, though? Like, if the gods really existed, like, she could probably summon them, right? We got their names, we got their faces. She could do it. I knew I was reaching with that one. I guess I better come up with something more grounded next time. What they do to the remake, they remove half the dialogue and ruin the art style.
because they turned it into like they took the anime and then turned that back into a visual novel. The game came first, then they made an anime, and then they turned the anime back into a game as part of their remake by streamlining the story and removing half of the plot. Imagine if Phoenix Wright, they just cut out half the dialogue and they called it a remake. And they got rid of like, and they added more like animated cutscenes. Or imagine if like they took the Phoenix Wright anime and they just tried to shove a game back in there. That's what the remake is of Steins Gate. What feels Gloomsbury himself? I mean, we need to be more specific than everyone at the reception. I think, anyways. No, is everyone at reception? Okay. I was leaning towards the first one, to be fair, because I brought this up during the investigation. Like, what if everyone was in on it? But I feel like in this situation, it made more sense to not pick that, so. Because, like, we're trying to accuse someone, and I feel like everyone at there was too vague. And also, this seems like a pretty Phoenix Wright answer, anyways. Well, I know he's the dead man. I know Gloom is the dead man. Doesn't mean he couldn't have orchestrated this. It wouldn't be the first time a dead person has orchestrated his own demise in this series. I mean, we just did something like that not too long ago. But yes, if you want a good time travel story, go and check out Steins Gate. There's a reason it's probably one of the most popular visual novels out there. It wouldn't really be a very streamable one, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't rule it out, but it's also wouldn't be high on my list. I already know what we're streaming after Phoenix Wright. I've already decided. I finally got my hands on the one missing game I needed to stream a certain series, and now I have them all so we can play through it. All on original hardware, no less. Because they don't want to acknowledge the series anymore for some reason. It'll probably be right after Phoenix Wright's done. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Alright. Let's pick the real answer. What if all the guests at the reception conspired together to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it? Do you know how insane that sounds right now, Phoenix? Do you hear yourself right now? Why? This sounds more insane than the time travel. Time travel would have been more sensical than what you're proposing right now. Man is literally here claiming conspiracy theory. Time travel was the sane option, and now he's spouting like, what if everyone's in on it? What if they all know? Like, what if we had to defend an alien or something? Or prove that aliens exist, and he's like, they're all in on it. No one would, they don't want anyone to know aliens exist. Man's going senile, and he's only like 35. What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing? Well, yeah, please elaborate. I think summoning the gods might have been a better option than this. Nah, I don't really... Dongan is really low on my list. And I already have all 3 games. I told you, they're on Vita. That's one of the reasons I can't really stream. I'd have to buy everything again, and I don't feel like doing that. That or figure out a way to stream a Vita game, which honestly wouldn't be that bad of an idea, if that's even possible. I'm sure there'd be other Vita games I could probably stream in the future, if I had that option. Ah, you decided to show up. I can tell you that you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say I underestimated you. How so, Mr. Nickety? You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day. Then, that means... It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time. What? Why? Why would you do such a thing? to make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. I don't think that's how that works. Buy the remake of 2 and just play both plots? But what about 3? 3 also exists. I would need to still get that one too on like a PC or something. No, the game I have in mind, the series I have in mind, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I'll give you the hint. It has, let's make sure I'm counting correctly, 4 games. Pretty sure that's correct. It has 4 games. No, 5 games. Sorry, I'm looking at my wall right now. It has 5 games. There are 5 games in the series. I don't know if it'll take as long as Phoenix Wright. Probably not, because there's only 5 games and not like 12. But there's 5 games in the series. Master Sword figured that if Miss Ellen, who'd killed Gloomsbury after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime. Are you saying most of the guests attended 2 receptions without knowing why? Indeed. They needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and so they did. That is the Sprocket way. Then, who had the body in the lantern? We did. But we did not anticipate the pedals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butts. And that's how you intended to cover the whole situation up. There is just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold. It was the Vista deck. What? Then Miss White's recollection of the events must be correct. I admit we tried to cover up this incident. But the fact that Miss Ellen killed Gloomsbury is undeniable. So if this is a day 1 reveal, then what other twists does this case have in store? I'm glad this is a day 1 reveal, because I would have been so disappointed if this was like the big case twist was that there was no time travel. But they're getting this out of the way now, so that's good. This is quite a turn of events. So I guess the real plot here is now, how did they orchestrate this whole thing? How did they make her, you know, think she was time traveling and did another reception without realizing it? Don't play V3, it sucks. Doesn't matter if it sucks or not. If I'm going to commit to a visual novel series, I'm going to play the whole series. That's the thing. Doesn't matter if a game sucks or not. You know, I'll form my own opinions after I play it, alright? You know, I committed to all of Kingdom Hearts. Didn't matter which game it was. We played every single one of those games. And I still don't think I've forgotten about the mobile games. I'll play those before 4 comes out. But we need to hear about when 4 comes out first before I consider doing that. That will happen too. No, if I'm gonna like commit to a series playthrough, I'm at the very least gonna play like all the main games of said series. Maybe not every spin-off, but at least the main games. And I'm looking at my wall here. The one I have in mind has 5 games that I'll be playing. And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last. Now. Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on. Let's not get hasty, Edgeworth. I bet you can't do it. I bet I can't either. Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. But as far as this case goes, I believe we are ready for your ruling.
Objection!
How the hell am I going to play the dead mobile games? Well, see, that's the thing about those mobile games. They are not quite as dead as you might think. You can still play them. They've just been put into offline, like, single-player kind of mode. It's essentially, one of them is essentially a glorified visual novel now. And the other one does technically have gameplay, so I still need to, like, figure out how I'm going to do that. But it's also completely completable still. It just might be a bit monotonous, and I might also turn it into a visual novel of sorts. I have some ideas. But yes, both games are completely... You can still play them from start to finish. I already tested them. In fact, I already have them downloaded. I could boot them up. Well, probably not right this instant. I'd have to go find where I put them. But I can streamed them. They do exist. Just before the defendant lost consciousness during her attack, she says she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that this third party is the true culprit. You still want us to believe the defendant's words? Perhaps you've lost more than you touched during your time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it. But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something. You never know when to quit, do you? Now, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further. Very well, Your Honor. Phew, that was close. Mr. Nicody, as for you and your cohort's attempt to cover up this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of this current one. Understood, Your Honor. Well then, this concludes today's trial. Court is adjourned. So we commit the entire series, so UDG. Which one's that? UDG. Oh, yeah, the action game. I don't actually... I have that one. Is that on PC? See, so that one might be a problem. Because I don't even know if that one's on, like, PC. Because I think I bought that on Vita as well. Ultra Despair Girls. I don't know if that one's actually accessible on PC. Because, like, that's what I mean. It's like, if I had a way to do Vita, I'd be a little more, like, receptive about doing Danganronpa, because I already have all the games on Vita. In that kind of situation, I mean, if I can't, you know, reliably stream a game, I'm going to skip it. I mean, that's just, you know, that's just how it has to be. Nothing I can do about that. Like, I'm not going to trust a Vita emulator. I don't think that's going to go too well. I can't imagine that works to any, like, degree of modicum of quality that I would accept for streaming. It is on PC. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, like I said, if I commit to, like, a whole series marathon, which we've done a few times on stream now at this point, I do try my best to include as many games as possible where it makes sense without it getting, like, too redundant, or, like, if the game it's, like, doesn't seem very streamable for whatever reason, whether the gameplay just, it would be very monotonous, you know, for example, or if I literally cannot play the game and record it, that would be another reason I wouldn't do it. But yeah, like, if I have easy access to the game, if it's easily recordable and it doesn't look like it'd be a terrible time, I do try and include them. Hence why I would probably do the 2 Kingdom Hearts mobile games, because I can record them. They do still exist. And at the end of the day, they would just essentially be visual novels, which, I mean, clearly I have no problem streaming those. They'd be, I don't know how long they would be, but they're there, and the plot is definitely going to be relevant to 4. I can guarantee that. I don't think it takes a genius to make that guess. So those would also happen, like, before, you know, when 4 is, like, actually given a concrete date. I was planning to do those ones. So yeah, Ultra Despair Girls would probably happen then if it is on PC. I didn't actually know if it was on PC or not. I thought for some reason that game wasn't ported to, like, off of Vita. I would count that, but not the summer camp game. It's just one of the bonus modes in V3. Yeah, I would count something like that, because, like, something like that is just like, well, that's like a Mario Party kind of thing, right? Like, that was just a bonus thing that was in the trilogy collection that they released, I don't know, what, a couple years ago now? Yeah, something like that I probably wouldn't count, because, like, if there's no, like, significant plot and the gameplay's, like, kind of whatever, then no. Like, so here's a good example of an edge case. Me doing Melody of Memory, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. That does technically have plot that pushes it forward, but for the most part, that's also just, like, a complete spin-off that has nothing to do with the rest of the series. Part of the reason I only streamed it, though, is because it was a rhythm game, and I do like streaming rhythm games. So that was, like, part of the reason. It did have a half-hour cutscene at the very end, That's only after like 8 hours of the rhythm game portion. If it didn't have that cutscene, I may not have like committed to playing through that whole thing and making it like a full on like inclusion in the Kingdom Hearts marathon, let's call it. It might have just been a one-off for the fun of it, just to check it out, but I wouldn't have like gone through the trouble of doing everything so we can get that cutscene, right? So I think that's a good example, you know, if that helps you like figure out my logic here. It's RPG, character builder, board game, and dungeon crawling. Yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. We got through day one there. I'm glad that they got the time travel thing out of the way. I'm glad that my guess wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. Like the whole they did 2 receptions, there is no time travel. Because like, let's be real here. Yes, we have spirit channeling. Yes, we have magical capes that defy physics. Time travel is a very hard line to cross. It's a lot more of a precious line to keep intact in any sort of fiction, I think. You know, unless your story involves all around time travel, it's best to not touch that can of worms. And you know, Phoenix Wright is, for the most part, supposed to be grounded. So I had a hard time believing that time travel would actually happen. They certainly set it up in an ambiguous way, and it made it exciting. So that was good. But I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to be the case. So I'm glad that they acknowledged that, and they're like, okay, yes, we're pointing this out here now. No, of course time travel isn't real. There were 2 receptions, because that's the only other logical explanation. Maybe it would have been cool if we had something like that. I still say, you know, my original idea, I mentioned this at the start of the stream, if we had, like, imagine a Phoenix Wright-esque game that actually had time travel, and, like, the plot was you untangling the timeline of events for the case, and, like, trying to make heads or tails of it to figure out what happened when. And there actually was time travel. That could be kind of cool in its own way. It would be very complex, and you'd have to be very careful on how you'd set it up, but I think that could be pretty cool. So, you know, just an idea to put out there for anyone who wants to make a Phoenix Wright, you know, courtroom drama type game. It'd be a sick plot point. Yeah, magic's okay, science fiction though, but I mean, you know, it's a hard line to draw. Specifically, spirit channeling is okay. I think that's like the one thing. It's like, this is normal, everyday logic, but you can also talk to the dead. And talking to the dead, at the end of the day, honestly, like, let's be real, that's not a big deal. There's nothing crazy about that. Like, at the end of the day, you're just talking to people. These people just happen to be dead. It's not as weird as, like, time travel, where you can go and just, like, fuck with events and stuff, right? And even, like, if we consider the magic, if we want to bring in, like, the Professor Layton crossover, and we want to consider, like, magic and stuff, like, even that was, like, if we've just, assuming we took that magic at face value, even that is, like, nothing too crazy. It's just little things. It's like, oh, this person can cast fire. Well, you know what the equivalent of that is in a logical world? This person had a lighter on them. Oh, this person turned someone else into gold. Okay, well, I mean, that's basically just killing someone. Just with a really creative plot device. Nothing weird there. Time travel gets tricky. You know, you start putting actual time travel into something, especially a game like this, and a mystery game, then it starts getting weird, and you kind of go into the territory of like, well, pretty much anything can happen to anyone, because you give a time traveler the ability to go and change events, and like nothing, your logic doesn't need to apply, because anyone can say anything you do is wrong. Any guesses you make could be wrong, because it's like, well, the time traveler said it didn't happen, because they went back and changed it. So you have to be really careful about that sort of thing. It's a very, very dangerous can of worms. What if it's not related to the murder, but it's revealed there is a functional time machine? That's a good question. I would almost be disappointed that if time travel turned out to actually be real in this universe, that they didn't utilize it as part of the case. You know, see previous statement about how an actual time travel themed case could be pretty neat. I mean, that would be fine as far as the case is concerned. It's not that I'd be against it. It's a very complicated thing to involve in any sort of game plot, because everyone has their own ideas about time travel and how it works, and at the end of the day, you know, you're always like, you have to be careful about your own logic of it, and some people just think it's a cop-out, you know, the same way that people think that reviving someone and bringing back dead people characters in any sort of story is a cop out, right? Or like, some people think that, death needs to matter. Time travel is I think is up there with like reviving dead people. You have to be careful with how you do it and make sure you actually mean it. Because time travel is a very powerful element, right? Insomnia Files. Wait, how many games are in Insomnia Files? There's only 2. Did the third one even come out? I said there's 5 games. In fact, actually, let me double check. Let me make sure I'm giving you the right number. Let me make sure I'm giving you the right number because I have 5 of them, but I think yeah, let's see. Let me just make sure. I think this one's its own thing and not like a. Yeah, okay, no, there's 5 games. There's 5 games. No, yeah. There's 5 games in the series, and I have them all physically, except one that's digital. But it was also a physical game at some point. I'm hoping that one's still accessible. Fingers crossed I can boot it up. I don't know if I'll be able to. If I have to pirate that one, that's fine. Because I don't know what state my Wii U's in at this moment in time. It's been a while since I booted it up. But yes, it will be 5 games, and yes, they are technically visual novel-esque in the same way Phoenix Wright is visual novel-esque. When it comes to like just pure 100% reading visual novels, like where we're just sitting there reading, it's a book and you make choices. I'm not sure if I want to do one of those yet. Maybe. I think I still want to. I'm trending towards like doing other things where there's like some sort of exploration element or some other gameplay involved that isn't just reading. I think that's a little more enjoyable. But I wouldn't be against such things. But it's going to be keeping with the same kind of trend as Phoenix right here. It's a hybrid visual novel / other game. But yes, there's 5 in the series. I don't think Insomnium Files has 5 in the series. I didn't mind the first one. I haven't actually played the second one yet. I don't know if the third one's even out. I has 2 main games, but I'm pretty sure there's like some minor. There's one spin-off game that was supposed to come out. I'm curious. I thought there was only one spin-off game. Is there more than one? Yeah, there's 2. There's the sequel to it, and then there was another game that came out. I think it's technically I don't know if it's a third game or if it's technically a spin-off. But there was a third game that was supposed to come out recently. Oh, this one did come out. Yeah, so there's 3 games in that series. But I think the third one's technically a spin-off. I don't know if they count it as 3. Oh, it came out back in July? What the fuck? Wow, okay. That came out a long time ago. Holy shit. I remember seeing like a trailer for it. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I still need to play 2. So I don't really care about this. And then just kind of like didn't realize it came out entirely. Yeah, no, that one only has 3. That would be a consideration. I kind of forgot that even existed, despite owning both of the other ones. But yeah, no, there's a couple. This one, I was hesitant to pick this series because there's like 5 games in it, and I know we just did like a really long thing with Phoenix Wright. Plus, there's like other stuff I'd like to stream that's not visual novel related, but I'm kind of in the mood, so I don't mind it. I've been looking forward to playing this series for a while. I think I've mentioned it on stream a long time ago that I would do it, but the thing that was holding me back at the time is I was missing entries in the series, and I prefer playing them as intended, so I try and not use emulators unless I absolutely have to. I prefer obtaining physical copies of the games or like as legitimate as possible and playing them that way. Emulators are cool. They work pretty well sometimes. But I'm always worried that an emulator just doesn't emulate a certain game 100% and like can cause a problem. It happened before. I went go look at the Sticker Star stream.
There's like glitches everywhere because it was on emulator. I didn't have a capture card at the time, so I couldn't play the game properly. But it's stuff like that I'm always worried would happen. It dropped the trailer like a week before it came out, along with the final DK Bonanza. Oh, yeah, I forgot that the trailer was that. I thought the trailer was like well before that. Okay, well, never mind then. Either way, it's not that serious because there's only 3 games, and that is your hint. It's a visual novel hybrid game series with 5 entries that we will be playing. And I have all 5 sitting on my shelf, except one that's digital. But it was also technically physical. Anyways, that will be for after the Great Ace Attorney. So we still have 2 more Phoenix Wright games. We have half of this case to go through still, so that's not going to be for a couple more months. I don't expect to be booting that series up until like March or April at the earliest, considering how long it takes us to play through these games. It'll probably take us like a month and a half per game for Great Ace Attorney, because I think there's like 5 cases each in both of them. So I'm expecting like a month and a half. Anyways, that'll be it for now. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'll be back Thursday with some Mario 64. We will continue where we left off with B33 and Minecraft on Friday. And then we will continue our Metroid and Phoenix Wright next week. So in the meantime, thank you all for watching tonight, and I will see you next time.